All right, we got a great show today. It's myself and Frankie, but we are joined by Alistair Docherty, who just qualified for the U.S. Open for a while. He pretty much joins the show as the third mic. Trent's out filming. And boy, is it an awesome story. I got the chills multiple times. We also have Tom Hoge on the show, who just finished inside the top 10 at the Memorial. He's gearing up for the U.S. Open next week as well. He won the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am a couple of years ago, 44th ranked player in the world. Never had him on before. But yeah, Alistair was great. What a story. And it's all brought to you by Chevrolet.
Great hearing from them. Alistair is just one of the best stories going in this sport. We talk a lot about Monday qualifiers and how amazing the journey is that these guys go through and the Corn Ferry Tour. And we've talked at length of Alistair's his journey and showing up, falling one stroke short multiple times at multiple events over multiple years. We even get into some stories where he's been like trying to qualify for the US Open since 2019. He has stories of being alternates and this whole deal. So this has been quite the grind. You like say 2019 and it feels like it was yesterday, but that was 6 years ago. This guy's just been at it, never really cracked beyond where he's wanted to be, and he's right on the precipice of ultimate success on the PGA Tour. He's right there. He's playing in his first major. The story of how he got in is incredible, so please stick around for that. And then, of course, Tom Hoge is Tom Hoge. He's a big sandwich guy, loves his sandwiches, loves his hoagies, and great to talk to him.
Brought to you by Chevy. If it's distance you're after, Equinox EV offers 319 miles of EPA estimated electric range with front-wheel drive. Equinox EV also has this awesome, massive 17-inch diagonal center screen. It's the largest of any EV in its class. Chevy's been doing it for a very long time and doing it incredibly well. American, it's that time of year. USA, Chevy, bow tie. When it comes to EVs, Equinox EV is the smartest choice you can make. Big thanks to our presenting sponsor at Chevrolet. Let's get into it.
Oakmont.
Come
on. Right, baby.
Foreplay, presented by Barstool Sports. We got myself and Frankie. We got a couple guests on the show. We've got Tom Hoge, who's the top 50 player in the world. He's a Fargo, North Dakota guy, lives in Texas now, finished in the top 10 last week at the Memorial, played in the U.S. Open in 2016 at Oakmont, and he's kind of gearing up, getting ready for that event next week. So we talk a little, talk Scotty Scheffler, talk Memorial, we talk upcoming U.S. Open, and talk to a tracker a little bit. You know, we get some stories. So it's Tom Hoge. Never had Tom Hoge on the show. And then we've also got our dear Alistair Docherty, the only Barstool golf athlete on planet Earth, has qualified for the U.S. Open. He's going to be at Oakmont next week. It'll be his first major championship he has ever played in his life. So we're going to have Al on. We're going to get a little update. We're going to hear about how it all went down on, golf's longest day. So yeah, we got a nice show packed for you fellas and ladies and listeners out there.
Yep, can't wait to hear from Alistair. We haven't talked to him yet as we're recording this. We just got done with the Tom Hoge interview. Great guy. Excited to see how he plays at Oakmont. Yeah, so is Alistair does he have to miss a Corn Ferry event to play in the U.S. Open?
He does not. I believe there is no Corn Ferry Tour event next week. There's one this week. So he's playing the BMW Pro-Am this week.
Yeah.
So he qualified for the U.S. Open, then drove to wherever this is. I think it's South Carolina. And then we'll fly to Oakmont, I think, Sunday night or Monday.
Beautiful. That's a great situation.
That's
pumped
huge
for him, especially to play under that. I mean, we'll talk to him, but under those conditions against those types of people that are all trying to their hardest to get into a major, 36 holes, and to he finished one back of the leader of his field.
Yeah, the winner was 5 under and he was 4 under. So he finished strong. That's always where the cojones come out. He was at 2 under, and then it was looking like 3 under might be kind of a playoff. 4 under would probably do it, and he birdied 2 of his last 3, which again he's going to kind of talk about and go through the whole thing. But yeah, amazing stuff. Very excited for Alistair. Very, very excited. He's never played in a major championship. It's his first one. He's had a little taste of being up there in the spotlight. Last year he finished second at Myrtle Beach, which was kind of a career-changing thing, $350,000, and finishing second in a PGA Tour event. But it was the opposite field event that week. He got into the Canadian Open, played a couple weeks later, missed the cut by a couple, so didn't have his best stuff. So again, he's had a little bit of a taste. Whereas now next week he's going in. He's tied at even par next Thursday with everyone else in the field at Oakmont in the U.S. Open.
Insane. Absolutely insane. And he's like such a long hitter, so like a place like Oakmont might play well there.
Dude, all of our group, we went out, we had a couple beers Monday night to celebrate here in Scottsdale without Alistair. We should kind of come up with reasons to have a beer and a burger. And we were all talking about, it's like, if there's one major championship that you would like his chances more than any of the other, it's a U.S. Open. He's a tough golf course kind of player. He's a ball striker. The longer the club he has in his hands, the more of an advantage he has against the general field in any event that he's playing in. So if it really does come down to just hitting it far, hitting it straight, staying out of the rough, I like Alistair's chances there more than almost anywhere else he could play. So yeah, it's unbelievably exciting. He'll be wearing the Barstool golf gear. We're going to do some scripting. It's like, it's fun. I'm like texting with Pilar about like making sure we know what our guys are going to be wearing at the U.S. Open, which is the same stuff that we're wearing. And by the way, we have 4th of July merchandise is coming out this Friday. So I believe tomorrow, our 4th of July line, Frankie's got one of the hats on. I've got one of our go-to hats on. I got this shirt on, by the way. That's got.
Oh, yeah. It's really all you're looking for 4th of July shirt. And everyone struggles with this. Like, I know that I'm not the only person that it's like June 26th or it's July 1st. And you've got a big 4th of July weekend coming up. And you want something American style. You want red, white, and blue. You want something that you can wear to the backyard barbecue. You got a couple parties for the weekend lined up. You're hosting people. You want a hat that literally shows that you are a proud American for 4th of July, for Independence Day. And you just struggle to find the right cool stuff. You don't want it to be like a freaking just a flag, like all on your shirt, but like you want it to be like even this hat, like it's got golf clubs and it's got little golf balls, but it is an American flag. Like this is something that I would find online and be like, that's what I want to wear to the barbecue. And that t-shirt. So I think that's really how we built out the collection, was like stuff that we would actually wear to a barbecue and like things that I always used to search for, like the cool little, t-shirts and graphic tees that you would want to wear. So I think it's all great. I think it's a really, really good collection that we got going. So make sure you check the website on Friday. We're going live with the whole 4th of July collection, and I think people will enjoy it. The Father's Day stuff, yesterday was the last day to order to get guaranteed shipping. You still can order if you're not going to see your dad for Father's Day or one of the dads in your life. You can still order now, and I'm sure it'll get there around Father's Day. So for all the people that won't see them on the actual day, still order your Father's Day stuff because that stuff's sold out real quick. So anything that's still left on the site, go get it.
Go check it out. Store.barstoolsports.com will be rocking the USA 4th of July. I just made my 4th of July plans. I'm going to go home to St. Louis for the weekend, play a little bit of golf. I'm sure there'll be some fireworks, as Trent has alluded to. They would like drive to, Missouri to get fireworks because we love our fireworks in this part of the country. So excited for 4th of July, and that line will be out soon. The first episode of the Hater Season 2 is now out. It came out on Wednesday at noon. So if you haven't checked that out, please do. We're not going to give any spoilers here. And as we're recording this, it hasn't quite come out yet. So we don't have to go through all of that. But just a reminder, go check it out. That's our latest video on the old YouTube channel. I know we talked about it quite a bit on last show, but people love it. People are into the series. People are going to talk shit, hate, whatever. I'm just going to call them out and play them mano a mano, and that's what we're doing. So a lot of pride on the line. The loser has to sincerely apologize to the winner. That's how these work. And so we've got Kyle from Philly against myself at Auction Southern Dunes. So check that video out. Anything else?
Shout out to Kyle Timms on the ones and twos who edited that. Kyle, put your camera on just to give people a jump scare watching on YouTube of how much you look like Trent today. There you go. Bang. Oh my God. That's fucking crazy. All right.
Talk about that edit. No. Talk about that edit too. I saw you put out the timeline. Whew, yeah, that's no joke.
I mean, you guys know, but like a lot goes into it, man. It's like there's just I don't know. It's a team effort too, though. I mean, I was like the main editor, obviously, but like Jonesy finishes it. Jared, we even got Squilly, our intern. He was helping with some stuff.
Who the hell's Squilly?
He's just a guy. He's actually a good kid. He's 19. He's from Louisville. His name's Squilly.
What the fuck is Squilly? What do you mean his name is Squilly? What does that mean? What does that mean?
He's a new intern. He's a good editor. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. I mean, he's green in terms of what we do, but like he gets around Premiere Pro. He knows After Effects and stuff.
Wow. Welcome to the crew, Squilly. And we're still looking for that other role, right? Is that still?
So Brendan doesn't end up in the hospital again. Let's get someone in.
Let's get going on that. We've been getting a lot of submissions, honestly, ever since I gave that call to action. And I want people to know, like, I've been seeing them. if I haven't responded, it doesn't mean that I ignored it necessarily. I've been sending stuff to Brendan and seeing what like if I haven't responded to, I still see it and I kind of send it through. So people that have been working on that Trent teaser, I know a couple people said they sent it to like the foreplay email, so we have to make sure we check that. But people are grinding. They want to get it. They want to get involved. Ever since I did that call to action, it's been crazy the amount of DMs I've gotten of people just kind of laying their life on the line in a DM, just saying like this is why they want to be a part of it. But I don't know. They have to work with Kyle Tim, so it's really not all roses.
It's win-win. Oh, not all roses. I thought you were going to say it was like a win-win.
It is. There is a lot that goes into it too. Not to like pump your tires too much, but like we talk about it all the time. How insane it is that we just go out there, we play golf, and we try and make it entertaining, and we play a good golf course, and we try and have some sort of storyline to it, and then we just like leave the golf course, and you guys are just left with all just 4 cameras, 4 microphones for 6 hours, and having to piece that all together with like one guy has to literally take each shot, each audio, making sure the other person's not talking, taking down their microphone while this guy's hitting. There's so much to make it like a nice, aesthetically pleasing watch. And I think you guys do it better than anyone else in YouTube golf. I think it's just such a great production. We might not be the funniest and entertaining people of all time, but the actual video and the production of it is phenomenal. Like, and you can match it up to any of the other groups. And I know that there are some styles that people still like to watch. Like I think Grant Horvat has a great style for himself. It's not necessarily the same stuff that we do, but like the way that Sky is able to kind of zoom in and get the shot, that's like his own style. And it is very, very pleasing to watch. And then you've got ours where like the cameras don't move. They don't shake. You don't see a lot of the camera guys on the green. There's a lot that goes into like making sure that that's our style. The drone shots showing every single hole from hole 1 to hole 18 from tee box to green, so that if you do play that golf course as a viewer, you get to now watch that as just like a preview of like going to play that golf course. That's stuff that we love to do. So shout out to Kyle and the whole team that keeps that like true and true from video to video, because that's like our stylistic way of like, that's like what foreplay is, like all different directors and movies, they all have like their own style. Foreplay has its own style, and these guys hold to it, and it's their own style. They kind of bleed their kind of creativity into it. So I love that shit. I think it's great, and it's not an easy job, man. He ends one video and he starts the next one, and it's fucking.
That's where it gets like crazy. So like haters, as we're speaking, haters going to go out in about maybe an hour. We're already on Oakmont. You know what I mean? It's just like it goes out, and we're just on the next one. Like there's no like, all right, good job, guys, we did it.
No celebration, right? No,
yeah,
dude, it's like
I enjoy it.
I know we talked about the Bin Laden documentary recently. It's like the end of the movie Zero Dark 30, where it's like there's no celebration. I remember like the SEAL team, they just jump on a chopper and they're like on to the next mission. It's like they just did. Now. Yeah. So thank you for your service. It's the same thing.
Yeah. How do you feel?
I do. I do it for the
American public.
For the American public.
I'm laughing at Kyle just combing through hours of footage, being like, "There's got to be something entertaining in here." Jesus Christ.
Yeah. No, you got. Luckily I enjoy the hell out of it, or else it would be a grind, man. It would be, but I text Riggs on the side all the time. I'm like, dude, check this. Yeah. This is hilarious. You know what I mean? I enjoy one, because I don't get to go. I could go to any of them I wanted to, but I have a family and stuff. But I don't go on these. All right, Frankie. I go on. Anyway, when I see these, I'm seeing it for the first time. When I'm editing it, like I don't really know what happened the day of. Like I have like general ideas of like, Riggs versus haters and stuff. I have a general idea of what happened, but I don't know the actual like ins and outs. So it's fun. I don't know.
Have you recovered from being like the worst dozen trivia performance after talking about how good you actually are at the dozen?
Wait, what? When I was on with you guys against Kirk?
Yeah.
I scored all of our points.
Oh man.
I mean, we sucked as a team for sure.
Yeah, we got absolutely murdered.
It was like 20-7 or something.
Kyle was the kind of guy, like every time he's like, "I'm the best dozen player." I'm telling you, I don't miss a question. I don't miss a question. If I was in that league, I would be an MVP. I'm telling you, pop culture, movies, music, everything. And he is good, to his credit, when we're out there on the shoots and we do the dozen trivia every night. He answers a lot of questions, and then the bright lights came on and we got our freaking asses handed to us.
I mean, we scored 7 and I scored them. So
no, but yeah, definitely check out Hater. It's an amazing video, and it's just going to be a great. Is it 4 episodes again, or do you have 3 right now? You guys have 3.
We got 3. We filmed 3 so far, and then
And then
we
you got the
will have 4
25K
when we do
match
the.
coming up.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's right. That's right.
Awesome.
That's coming up next week. Yeah, nice work there, Kyle.
Thank you,
Mr.
fellas.
Timms.
Thank you.
Really nice to see you. You know, really lovely to see you out
It's
there.
always great to see you guys.
How about Bryson hitting golf shots on the south lawn of the White House? You see that?
So yeah, I mean, I saw that, and I actually texted Brendan Jones about that. I'm like, at some point, we can't compete with that is peak golf YouTube content if you're hitting golf shots at the White House, regardless of who the president is. Like, you've now, if you're trying to put out golf, interesting golf content, we're like, oh, we need to find a cool golf course and we need to find a cool storyline. Like, he is hitting golf shots onto a green at the White House, the most insane location you can possibly hit golf shots. And then I saw a tweet that he was doing a hole-in-one challenge, hitting balls over the White House. And that's when I texted Brendan saying, you can't compete with this. So he's just going to hit balls over the White House and try and make a hole-in-one. I think that ended up being fake. I think someone was just making a joke to try and get a rise out of someone like me being like, no way is he hitting. That's like a security risk. You can't at some point.
No,
that's
right.
Insanity.
No, there's nothing we can do at that point. I saw the same thing. It was just like, all right, at some point, would we just hang him up? Do we just clap our hands and say kudos, good job to you guys?
Onto the lawn hitting golf shots, you win.
Yeah, he's competing in every major championship and then also doing, our world of YouTube. And it's like, well, if you're going to come into our world with that. I saw something. So Liv is back this week. They're in Virginia, and I was looking it up, dude. How about Liv hasn't played since May 4th? They finished up in South Korea. So I know, on the Golf Channel set and whatnot, they go in and they debate about the Liv prep and all this. They only play 3 rounds. I couldn't believe that they haven't played since then. So it's like, if you're these Liv guys, they've played the PGA Championship, and in the last month, that's the only competitive golf that they've really had. And, Bryson, I was watching him. I love his series where he goes and tries to set the course record at local public courses. I think that's awesome. And I was watching one of them, and he was making the point during it where he was like, I'm very nervous right now trying to set this course record because I want to do it so badly. And he was like, it's honestly the best prep work that I get for playing competitive golf without playing competitive golf, because I'm actually out here trying to hit shots that matter to me. And I was thinking, I was like, I wonder if Bryson legitimately filming, YouTube golf videos and matches and trying to set records and stuff, I wonder if that honestly is in any way helping and part of the reason that he's competing more in majors than anyone else from Liv, if he's sharper in some way because he's actually filming golf stuff in which those golf tasks matter to him on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah, I mean, millions and millions of people are watching it, which it's just him and his producers out there filming it. But as we know, that weight definitely, weighs heavy on you, knowing how much people are caring and watching each shot, and especially for him, how big he's gotten. He knows that those are huge videos. There's a lot of people that rely on it now. He's got a little bit of a business. When he goes out there to film it, there's a lot of pressure. So yeah, I think you're onto something. I don't think that it's crazy to say that him filming those is, I think if anything, it has to be a positive. It can't be a negative. It is added pressure. It is, meaningful golf shots to him. And yeah, it's we've seen historically that when you're not playing competitive golf going into big events like the Ryder Cup, the guys didn't really play very much going into Italy.
Drove me nuts.
They get their asses kicked, and the other guys, they're playing in DP World Tour, they're playing European World Tour, they're doing the whole entire deal. They're playing all these events, and they're sharp. There's a huge difference, I think. So, and that's not to say that these guys aren't figuring out ways to feel pressure when they're practicing. I'm sure John Rahm and Brooks Koepka, they're figuring out ways to prepare and feel like you're hitting those meaningful shots. But yeah, I mean, Bryson definitely has something going where it's he goes out there and he is making putts knowing that 2 million people are going to watch it. And that's got to dial you in just a little bit more than playing at your home track and working on wedge shots,
Yeah, and in the course record series, he's out there and he's like, this is my one chance at this. I need to get to 9 under, and I'm 7 under with 4 holes to go. He's like, this putt is huge. If I don't make this putt, I will never have this chance again. I'll never be out here at this course with the opportunity to be I have the course record in the clubhouse forever. And so I was just kind of wondering, I was like, that's a little bit of an interesting wrinkle, just because I couldn't I couldn't believe that they haven't played in that long, and I don't think they usually do that. I think this is a little bit of a gap in their schedule compared to the usual prep. And I don't know that, we're not competitive golfers, so I have no idea how much it actually affects it. But it was just something of note. And again, they are back this week. They'll be playing. Rahm is coming off, going into the U.S. Open next week. He's obviously a U.S. Open champion. He's coming off a fantastic run at the PGA. I know he came up short, made a bunch of mistakes down the stretch, and ended up not finishing as high as it was looking like. But he was really the only contender to Scotty on Sunday, and he'll be going to the U.S. Open, I imagine, with a little bit of confidence. It'll be interesting to see how he plays this week on Live. But yeah, I was just kind of noticing that. I was curious.
They haven't played a Live event since the PGA, so this is just like these guys. Their last 2 competitive rounds were the PGA and the U.S. Open. They're just playing majors now.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing this week, so this will be the first time since.
Oh, they're playing this week. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. So if you
at least they get the tune-up.
Yeah, they get a little bit of a tune-up. But if you're on Live, you haven't played a competitive round,
right?
Since the last round of the PGA, which feels like it was a while ago at this point.
Yeah.
And yeah, they get a little bit of a tune-up here. So I was just saying, like, that's, even though they're going to get a little tune-up, that's 3 weeks or whatever it is without playing competitive golf in the middle of like the hottest part of the season. I just thought that was a little bit different. Canadian Open this week. We love national opens. We've talked about that before. I went up to the Canadian Open last year because Alistair was playing in the event. It was awesome being up there. I was talking a lot about like Golf Canada. Just seeing like the logo and the gear all over the place really reminds you of like how much pride in other countries, and especially in Canada, they have towards their golf. So when the Canadian Open comes, I know they have like the hockey rink hole, and obviously we've got tonight while we're recording this. It'll be yesterday if you're listening. Stanley Cup Finals starting. Edmonton Oilers. I imagine most of Canada is rooting for the Oilers, trying to get that cup back to Canadian soil for the first time in a very, very long time. But I love national opens. It's very, very cool. We talked on the last show quite a bit about the concept and the thought of like Rory pretty much winning everything he could possibly have won at this point. And if you just win 2 or 3 of something, does it really matter? As long as you've like won every event, then you've kind of checked all those boxes. You've proved that you're a dynamic golfer that can win on any type style of golf in different countries, all of that. Canadian Open is kind of one of those things. Like, he's won the Canadian Open before. I think it's really, really cool to have won any country's national open. I know Rahm plays like the Spanish Open, it feels like, every year. There's the Italian, there's all these kind of the Scottish Open, the Irish Open, all these national opens are very, very cool. And you kind of forget as you kind of barrel through the schedule of how important each like national open is to that place, to that country, to the entire golf organization in that country. And we have one this week, and it's a PGA Tour event. It's Rory McIlroy's out there. There's a bunch. I think there's like 20 something Canadians actually in the field. So it's a little bit different of a look when you tune in and you kind of see all the national pride. And so it's just something to watch out for when you're watching this week.
Yeah, no, it's a good event. It always kind of delivers. There's always been big moments that have come out of it, especially in recent years. So excited to watch. Excited to see how Rory handles this week with the press and everything. I know we got into that on Tuesday, but it'll be. Has he talked today at like a practice round or anything? Has anything come out yet?
Man, I really hadn't seen anything as of yesterday. I think he got on site. The first time I really saw anything from him around was this morning, and I think he was doing practice round, or maybe it's just a pro-am. But yeah, I think hopefully we'll be getting something from Rory. I saw that he had a nice little. He saw there was like a kid on the first tee, like a toddler wearing a green jacket. Rory said to him, "Took me a little longer to get one of those to him," so he got a nice little laugh out of the gallery for that. But no, I don't think I've seen him do any media yet. Hopefully he does today.
Saw a video he posted on his Instagram. It definitely came from like Mike Essie at TaylorMade, but they were just tracking him hitting drivers, him and Colin. Just insane how high he hits the ball. And I know we've seen it in person. We've done videos with him. We literally did a driving video with him on YouTube if you want to go check that out. But it's like seeing it on like the way that they have to track it, it's so preposterous. It looks like a pop fly to like shortstop, and it goes 350 yards.
Dude, I can't believe how high he hits the golf ball. It really is stunning. You've heard it before, drive for show, putt for dough, but lucky for us fans, we don't need a short game to cash in. This week, the action's heating up on the course, and DraftKings Sportsbook is your go-to spot to get in on the excitement from the first tee on Thursday to the final putt on Sunday. DraftKings has you covered with everything from live betting to odds boosts and more. If you're new to betting on golf, no problem. It's as simple as picking a golfer to win the tournament, and just like that, you are in the game. Here's the real game changer. New customers, pay attention to this. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. That's a payout even a pro would envy. We've also got NBA Finals, NHL Finals. DraftKings Sportsbook is the place to be, Frankie.
Really is. Yep. You got obviously the finals right now at the NHL, and then baseball is in full swing. Love live betting baseball. I am obsessed with the Yankees go down 1 or 2 and you're hammering that live money line. It just keeps you invested. It keeps you really, really engaged in it. And I really don't know who I like in this Stanley Cup Finals. Obviously, the Panthers, to me, are the favorite just because they won. And regardless of what the odds are, like, I do think that the Panthers have a great, just solid team from top to bottom, defensive core, goaltending, and they've got all those guys like Bennett and all these like Kachuk type players, and then you add in a Brad Marchand. But then on the other side, it's like, is McJesus really going to let this one go by again? So it's a fun one to really get involved in on the DraftKings Sportsbook. You don't know where it's going to go. I think there's going to be a lot of goals. There's going to be a lot of offense. I cannot wait to watch the Stanley Cup Finals and be involved on DraftKings Sportsbook while doing it.
Tee it up and take your shot. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use our code FORE, F-O-R-E, that is code FORE, to unlock $300 in bonus bets when your $5 bet wins. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Celebrate Dad this Father's Day. We love Father's Day. We love dads. Frankie himself is a dad. Kyle Timms on the 1s and 2s today is a dad. Celebrate Father's Day by raising his game at Golf Galaxy. It is our go-to place for the best gifts for dad, with everything from equipment, apparel, golf shoes, services, simulators, putting greens, all kinds of great stuff. They do 24-hour club regripping in store. This is the place to take dad for Father's Day.
I'm actually heading to a Golf Galaxy today. I'm going to go check out the Golf Galaxy here on Long Island. There's one right here in Bayshore. I love going there. I'm going to pick up some stuff for Father's Day because I know they have some things that we don't. That's the thing about Golf Galaxy and our stuff that we sell in our store. Like, they'll have things that we don't even have on our store. They've got different variations of merchandise, and they've also got a lot of our stuff, our equipment, our skills, equipment trainers that I like to pick up as well. Those make great gifts. So Golf Galaxy for sure is just an amazing spot to go and just spend some time, roll some putts. All these the talk of these zero torque putters. Go get your hands on one of these and roll the rock. Let's see how these things roll on those perfect, pristine mats at Golf Galaxy.
Golf Galaxy has an amazing suite of services as well, so go check it all out. If you're strapped for time, you can buy online and just pick up in-store at Golf Galaxy. And for most purchases, you can even get things delivered the same day to your house, making it easier than ever to get a great gift this Father's Day. So go check out your local Golf Galaxy. You can just spend time there, hang around there, browse around, hit some putts, and be around great golf stuff, apparel, services, shoes, equipment, all of it. Go to your local Golf Galaxy, check out all the best golf products, or just shop online at golfgalaxy.com. This guy does the same thing, by the way. Hey, Alistair.
The same thing. They just hit the ball
There
so
we go.
fucking high. Look at that. Look at that outfit. How good is our merch now, by the way? My God.
Oh, amazing. It's
We got to
about
start
time
calling
we
it
got
apparel,
this
I think, with
top
you.
of the line
for you, it's
stuff.
apparel. For us, it's merch.
Oh, it's apparel.
Dude, the newest versions of our blade collars, like you're wearing right there, are all that I wear. In like all the hater videos, it's all I was wearing in all of our videos going forward. I think they're so good. Those bad boys are allowed at the US Open, right?
I sure hope so, because that's what I'm wearing.
Alistair's going to be just shirtless, nipples out on the first tee of Oakmont because
No one needs to see that.
He's going to be wearing a polo from the pro shop because they
don't have the same body as the guy at the Memorial.
No, that definitely not me. I'm Scottish Canadian and have the tan lines that nobody wants to see.
I know, dude. I'm Scandinavian too, so my tanning is not particularly impressive. Just my general skin tone. Yeah. Congratulations, Alistair. First major championship next week. qualified, golf's longest day, 36 holes.
Thank you.
So I know you and I kind of talked about it on the phone, but going into Monday kind of snuck up on me. I didn't even really realize it was going on. You just kind of forget memorials a lot. I'm paying attention to the golf world, to the memorial. And then next thing you know, you wake up, Max Homa's carrying his own bag. Alistair's out at Duke. And it's just like all kinds of chaos is going on. What is that day like?
Chaos is correct. We're hitting range balls from the golf shop. They're not exactly the pearls that everybody likes to hit on the PGA Tour. So we didn't hit any drivers. We didn't want to risk a cracked club. It was 7:40 in the morning.
No drivers before the 36-hole U.S. Open qualifier?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to hit enough golf shots out there. So it was just about getting the body loose, hit a lot of irons, and I swung pretty hard at a couple 4-irons. Like, all right, I think we'll be okay. And then we just let it rip.
That's outrageous. So your first round, you're kind of stuck in neutral. Nothing really going on there. What is like the leaderboard situation like? Are there leaderboards anywhere? Do you have any idea kind of how you need to do out there?
There's no leaderboards. We are allowed to look at our phone for the leaderboard updates, but for the first round, we're not looking at that. We don't really care. We're just trying to play golf and make as many birdies and pars as possible. But yeah, like you said, I was really stuck in neutral. It was not exactly the easiest to judge distance or, I'm just going to come out and say it. We had mud balls every single hole. So we played it down. It was a muddy pit. It was brutal. It was really hard to get anything close. And if I did, I just didn't make them on the first round. And we got to 16. I had what I thought was a great wedge shot in there. Spun back to 15 feet. I left it, I don't know, a quarter of a ball short. And I looked at my caddy. I was like, man, I mean, we're 4 over. I mean, people have got to be 2, 3, 4 under. We're going to need to get to 8. I feel like if we don't make a couple, I mean, we just pack it in. Let's get to Greenville. Let's worry about the BMW and go back to the Corn Ferry Tour.
Because a lot of people do that. Like a lot of people, there's literally nothing to play for except for qualifying. So the minute that you believe you're not going to qualify, like people withdraw. If you look at the bottom of the leaderboard, like 20 people or 15 people just withdraw from the event.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there was even people that walked off the golf course halfway through the second round. I mean, it just happens. People have other places to be. If they're not going to be in contention, they're out of there. And so that's really where my mind went. I said it to my caddy. And so we hit a good drive on 17. I thought I hit a great shot into the hole, but it came up short in a bunker. And I get in there and I was like, wow, I finally have a good lie in a bunker. It's kind of a makeable one. I was like, well, this would be cool to hoop. And next thing you know, I one-hopped it right in the hole. And I was like, all right, well, that's one. Finally, I'm on the board. I'm not goose egg. And then on 18, I hit driver 6-iron to about 6 feet and rolled it in for birdie as well to a tucked back right pin. I was like, wow, all right, that was sweet. Let's see what we're at. And then we'll kind of just go from there. And as the scores started coming in, I was not the only one that was struggling out there because I was only 3 shots out of the qualifying spot. And I was like, wow, that's not what I expected at all. We're going to give it a shot and let's go see if we can get hot early and get ourselves back in contention. And that's just what I did.
Okay.
God damn.
Let's
go. Let's go to the next 18. What happened? Hole 1. Like, what was how long do you have in between each round?
They gave us, I think we had about 50 minutes. It was 1:12 tee time. It was enough time to walk over to the snack shack, order a sandwich, go to the putting green, hit a couple putts and go to the tee.
Tom Hoge.
Yeah, Hoge. Damn it. You beat me to it. Fuck. Too slow.
We just had
Riggs.
Tom Hoge on the show. So
too slow, Riggs.
Yeah. He's an awesome dude. I love that guy.
Yeah.
Really nice guy.
Real nice guy.
Yeah.
All right. So you get a Tom Hoge. You sit around. You guys, so you're 3 strokes back, step up to the first tee, and you just played the golf course. So you know what to expect now.
Yep. Pins are all the same. It's starting to dry out because it's warmer and no rain in the forecast. And I was like ready to ball out and hit driver 9-iron to about 8 feet, just missed, and then hit driver 5-iron onto the par 5 11th, made birdie, hit 9-iron to about 15 feet on the par 3, canned that one.
Come on.
And then on 13, it was just a punch mini driver off the deck to try and avoid mud balls, and then hit a wedge in there to about 10 feet and made that one. I was
Come
like, we are in contention.
Look at
we
you
are actually
avoiding mud balls
on the
off
number.
the tee. You're like, I'm going to chase it out there instead of fly it out there, so I don't get any mud on my golf ball.
Anything that was high was just clumping with mud. So I was like, we got to do something on this. I'll just pierce it down the left side low and just hope we get no mud balls. We didn't. So that was kind of the goal. How do we avoid mud balls and still give ourselves a lot of chances?
So now we're rolling. Now we're got some momentum out there. Now
are you checking at this point, like where you're at? Are you seeing like where the line is and where you are on like hole 13, 14?
No, I did not look until we were on the par 5s, which was my 16th hole, hole 7. I was fully in the moment, very, very locked in. I knew it kind of, all right, the leader was at 3 or 4 after the first round. They'll probably get to 7, maybe 8. That's at least what I was thinking. The cut line or the playoff would have been at 1. So that's got to move to maybe 2, 3, or 4. So we're just locked in, trying to get to 3 or 4 at best and give ourselves a chance. And when we were 3 under through, 4 holes, we were like, all right, let's take it deep.
So at this point, our group texts are going nuts. We're like, our boy is right there, and you're at 2 under at this point, and you've got 3 holes to play, and now you're on this par 5, which is a 7th hole, your 16th hole. Talk us through it.
Yeah, so it's a little dogleg right down the hill, second shot, 2-tiered green. There's a creek that runs diagonally from right to left up towards the front left of the green. The pin is back left on this top tier. It's almost, it's ridiculous to try and get it all the way up there. But we had 270 pin, 246 front edge, and I looked at my caddy. I was like, what do you think we should do here? Because I have a little bit of a downhill lie. I'm not fully comfortable that I have this 7 wood that I can get all the way there and, make sure that we have an eagle chance, or do we just try and make birdie? And he looks at the phone and kind of just like, we need 1 at least, possibly 2 to be safe. I was like, all right, give me the 7 wood. Let's balls to the wall. Let's go. Yeah. Suck up and do this thing. And I hit this 7 wood so damn good. Just on a string at the pin, it flew into the hill and just trickled back. I had 30 feet up the hill for eagle.
Come on.
Let's go.
I rolled it.
Way to sack
I rolled it up there to an inch. My eagle putt looked fantastic. It was like an inch or 2 short. I walk up the hill to the par 3. My caddy's like, all right, we're at 3. We are in right now. There's a bunch of people at 2. I'd feel better if we just get 1 more. I was like, all right, sounds good. And I hit an 8-iron right over top of the pin to about 15 feet. And it's so severely downhill. I'm barely on the fringe. And I just let this thing trickle, and it just goes right in the heart. And both my caddy and I just, let's go! Come on! High five. My hand's starting to sting, and I'm just like, oh man, we got 1 more hole left. Like, calm down. We got to get back into this.
I love like a big let's go too when there's probably nobody out there, right? Like this is like a grindy.
There's like a couple people in a Duke shirt off to the left, like they're just standing there watching. They're waiting for Alex Smalley, who's the group behind me. Like he's got a big following, and I'm just out there screaming like it's the Ryder Cup.
So good, so good. So now we got what, 1 hole left? 1
hole left. It's a really long par 4. It's actually at Duke, normal play. It's a par 5, but you can't hit driver because it cuts off and goes down the hill in some really thick rough to kind of an elevated green. And yeah, so I was all pumped up. So we hit 7 wood off the tee there too. Had 234 in for our second, and it was just 210 to the front, and we have to stay below it. So I hit 5-iron, a little extra adrenaline, got it pin high right on a down slope, and I've never tried to lag a 15-footer in my life more, and I still had 3.5 feet from par. So a little nervy over the 3.5 footer, but my caddy said it wasn't even 3.5 feet. It was like 2, but it felt 3.5, 4. So I poured that thing in, and it was awesome. A little embrace on the 18th green. Went up to scoring, and they kind of thought I was in, no problem. But I'm looking at these scores. I'm like, man, there's plenty of people that we could end up in a playoff. So we're going to kind of just take it easy for a little bit and then try and get back, get loose again and get ready for a possibility of a playoff. It's carnage. It's crazy.
What'd you shoot in that second 18?
64 with a bogey.
Damn, dude.
64 with a bogey. And the
64
course was playing
with a bogey
hard.
is the
Dude.
most like grab your nuts and let's just go and win this thing and get into the US Open I've ever heard in my entire life. That is so clutch. It's actually insane.
I know.
It felt great.
Would you also shoot 4 in the final round at Myrtle? Is that the same number?
Yeah, I'd love to shoot 64 at Oakmont too.
Yeah, that would be sick. That would go a long way at Oakmont.
That would be insane.
Dude, what an interesting. First of all, this is why the US Open is so cool, is that literally people can just qualify. Like if you just sack up and play the right level of golf at the right time, you can just play in the biggest event that like America has, which is the United States Open. It is our national open. It's a major championship. There's so much history. Oakmont, the fact that, and it's such an interesting dynamic. I was thinking like that qualifying is so close to the event. Like it's almost like a shock to the system that like, we're recording this on Wednesday. Like 2 days ago, you were in the middle of the day and didn't even know you're playing in the US Open. And the US Open starts in like 4 days. It's like that doesn't 5 days. It doesn't even, it's crazy how quickly that whole thing can change. So this is not your first run-in with the United States Open. You have been very near a US Open before. You got to tell that story a little bit.
Yeah, in 2019 I was first alternate for the US Open at Pebble. That was a tough one to swallow. My bogeyed 17 coming in and birdied 18, which is a par 5 up in the Wine Valley in Washington. Awesome spot if you guys ever get to go out there. The place is amazing. And Spencer Tibbetts, who's also from my hometown, made an eagle on the last to clip me. He was an amateur at the time, so it was tough. But I went into a playoff for the alternate spot, and from what I was told at the time, since there was I think there was only 2 spots at that location, but there was 60 guys, so it's like it's the hardest mathematically to get in. And from what I was told is like, if you get this first alternate spot, most likely you're going to be teeing it up in the US Open. So I'm all pumped up. Let's get this first alternate spot. Let's go to the US Open. And I ended up beating Michael Putnam in a playoff to get that spot. So I made all the accommodations, made the trip. I actually drove from Washington down to Pebble, stayed at a host house that allows me to stay for one of the Monterey Open tournaments, and I get on site and they just go, "Oh yeah, you're actually 10th alternate on site." I was like, "Wait a sec, what do you mean?" He's like, "Well, we go by strength of field. It's not strength of how difficult it is to get through." I was like, "So you're saying 60 people for 2 spots, if it's only those 2 people that withdraw, that's the only chance I get in? Or I'm 10th alternate on the list of those people?" You go, "Yeah." And so I was like, "Well, there's no chance I'm getting in. These 2 guys are already here. Like they're going to play. What am I doing?" So I just kind of took it all in. I played practice rounds. Pebble is my bucket list course. I said I would never go unless I was playing at Pebble Beach for a tournament, but I went US Open, played practice rounds, went through the whole deal. I
You're just out there, you got like a transfusion. You're like, I'm playing Pebble. This is sick.
We might have had a little money game between all of us alternates on Wednesday.
That's great.
It was awesome. But yeah, I'm excited to go to Oakmont and kind of get the full experience of teeing it up.
God damn. That is awesome, Al. Who you got
also,
family
that was like
and stuff
6
coming
years
in?
ago. It just shows like the grind this guy has been on to just like he's still, like battling. And like 2019, you're like right there in the altar, and now you're fucking in. Like that's just such a stick with it success story. It's so impressive. So impressive.
Even a better story, on the range, I was wearing a Tiger Woods mock neck, actually, because I was with Nike at the time. And because I was an alternate, they didn't have my clothing for the week. So I just had my own stuff. I was wearing my Tiger Woods stuff, like all this, whatever. And the Nike guy came up to me on the range. He goes, "Hey, man, I hate to do this to you, but you're going to have to change shirts." I was like, "Wait, what?" It's like, "Yeah, because Tiger's in the field, nobody else can wear his stuff this week." It's like, no way. It's like, my house that I'm staying at is 30 minutes away. Like, I'm not going to go back and change. Like, do you guys have extra stuff that I can wear? He goes, "To be honest, we don't have your stuff here, but when you get in, we'll have your stuff. So if you could go to the pro shop and get another Nike shirt. Once you get in, we'll reimburse you for it. So I had to pay $140 or $160 for a Nike shirt to practice on the range on Monday.
No way.
No way. Holy shit.
That is outrageous. Jesus Christ.
Nike, like they have a million shirts probably in their trailer.
Yeah.
We're gonna go up to you on Tuesday at Oakmont and be like, hey, since Trent's actually wearing that blade collar today, you can you're gonna have to change out of that, big guy.
You alluded to this. I can't get this frog out of my throat.
Get him out of there.
I don't know what's going on. You alluded to this before about like scripting. We have to have some sort of scripting content coming out for Alistair Docherty in the major, right? We're going to post like a really nice image of like all the outfits he's going to be wearing.
Yes.
Sounds awesome.
We're on that. We got his caddy, Tater. That's his name, right? Tater?
Yeah, Lee Tate goes by Tater.
Tater Tot.
Tater. We're gearing up Tater too. We're sending him a bunch of stuff so that the two of these guys are going to be rolling around there, all scripted up in the Barstool golf gear. Best stuff we got.
We're gonna be looking good. We're gonna play good. It goes hand in hand.
No, I need some serious scripting content because like we've been scripting for years, like for us doing podcasts, and now we've got a guy playing in the U.S. Open wearing outfits all 4 days. Wearing outfits all. I mean, when are you getting there?
We are getting there at 9 something in the morning on Monday.
Come on, 7 days of scripting.
We're flying out at 5:30 in the morning out of Greenville, South Carolina.
Hell yeah.
What a time to be alive. What a time to be an Alistair Docherty fan, man. This is some special stuff right now. This is such a grind. What a journey. What's
your knowledge or information at all about Oakmont? I mean, I know you're playing this week on the Corn Ferry Tour, so you're probably not trying to get too far ahead, but are you like looking at all the social media stuff about Oakmont being like, oh baby?
I am dabbling in it. I'm not going full on and, want to know every ins and out of every hole, but I've looked at a few things. I've seen a few things online. I mean, there was something that came out that Adam Scott might have shot 45 on the front 9 in a practice round the other day, and Rory might have made a quad on hole 2 saying that he hit 4 good shots. So there's going to be some carnage. So my caddy's been watching every single video that there is. He came up to my room last night and was like, dude, did you know that this hole does this? I'm like, all right, I want to kind of go in a little blind. You do all your research you want. You'll tell me where to go, and we'll just go from there because I trust the guy. I mean, we're dialed in.
Absolutely. 100%. I love that he's that into it. God, it's an awesome place. Me and Frankie kind of mentioned it off the top, but I feel like you prefer tough type golf courses as opposed to, shooting 30 under par out there.
Yeah, I love golf courses that par is a good score. And where you have to be very strategic and you have to hit certain spots. Ball striking has to be in point. I mean, every part of your game has to be ready to go. It's obviously a U.S. Open. So, and to go to what is known as one of the toughest tests at Oakmont, it's going to be special.
Well, your first thing you got to tackle is Grant Horvat's playing in the BMW. See that he's playing in the Corn Ferry this week?
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. I'm not going to say anything about that. Don't bait me into that, Frankie.
There you go. I was going to say, that's number 1.
Yeah. Make sure you beat him this week. That'd be nice. I feel like that's not.
I play against myself. I'm more of my own competition.
Hell yeah.
Love that answer. That's a good answer.
It's a great answer. It's a really solid answer.
Or what? Where'd you pick that one up?
Some Dr. Brett McCabe, maybe.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That's right. This guy is.
Maybe that's why that just resonated with me so much. I'm like, that sounds familiar.
Yeah. We chat every once in a while. Nothing too big. But I've definitely chatted with him. Thank you, Riggs, for putting us in touch.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's been good.
He's the fucking man, Dr. Brett McCabe.
I haven't heard from him in
awesome.
a bit. But
I believe he's going to be at Oakmont.
Yeah, we'll usually we'll always see him walking behind, like, whatever the biggest group he's got, whatever the biggest name he's got. He's usually walking behind him on, like, the biggest hole. Remember we saw him walking up to, we were, like, having drinks on 17 at Sawgrass. I'm like, is that Brett McCabe walking onto the island green right now? He's just strolling up there. I forgot who he was with. I think Billy, maybe. He's the fucking man, dude. He's just, like, everywhere all at once. He's got all these guys that he's helping, and he's like, every single guy has the same thing to say about him, that he's just the man and that they can just get stuff out of him that you really can't explain. I said the same thing. I sat with him 3 or 4 times. I'm like, I really can't explain why he makes you feel at ease on the golf course, even for an amateur.
I don't know. I mean, he's just easy to talk to, and he's obviously very knowledgeable, so he gets the best out of you.
He is so easy to talk to. He's so positive, dude. He's just got that like demeanor about him all the time. The way he says stuff confidently. He says stuff like you just said, and it just comes out,
Awesome.
you know?
I want him to
Mhm.
like send me like motivational speak like about like being a father or something. I want him to like dial me in with this.
Is that what the group text needs to be? We need to send Frankie a little pump me up every morning.
Just, you know, like just yeah. Maybe I'm just in the trenches right now. Like I've said that like 3 times already. We interviewed Tom Hoge at 10. I literally woke up at 9:58 because I was up all night.
Oh man.
It's just like you just don't know where you're at.
I like Alistair's gearing up to play Oakmont with like a helmet on, and we're sending Frankie like motivational text. Come on, dude, you got
The battles we all have to face.
That's right. You got a bunch of what, family, friends coming in for Oakmont? Are you trying to keep it light? What's your plan?
We are trying to figure all that out. Sean Riley and I mean, he's going to work, so Shano's just digging in and trying to figure everything out for me. So I know my dad's going to be there. I think my sister is being the time off work. She might be able to get there. Mom will be there on the weekend. Yeah, I think we're keeping it real light. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be other people that are reaching out and coming out and just being in the area, but family wise, those are the 3 that I hope we'll all be able to make it. Dad will definitely be there. I actually got to talk to you guys and Pilar about getting him some stuff. Probably just spoiled his Father's Day gift, but he'll be decked out. He'll be decked out too.
Don't listen at like the hour and 20-minute mark there, Mr. Docherty. Just
get him golf. Make sure that they send him golf dad hats too.
That's exactly what we're looking at.
Those are sick.
Yeah, and so we're gonna keep it light. We're probably getting an Airbnb. I think that's actually already dialed in now. Yeah, Andy's coming out for Tuesday, Wednesday.
Andy Patnow, man, what a great guy. Andy Patnow is Alistair's swing coach, and a couple of years ago, I was like, hey, I suck. I need, you got any thoughts? I've been going here, I've been going there, and Al sent me to Andy, and we don't do a ton, but I would say maybe 4 or 5 times over the last 2 years, I've gone to Andy, including twice this spring. And, as folks have seen on camera, I've been hitting it a lot better overall. So I got to give a huge shout out to Andy Patnow. Phenomenal guy. And he works with Alistair, and Alistair's now playing in the United States Open.
Yep. I started working with Andy actually at the very end of 2018, and he kept me in professional golf. I had an unbelievable 2019, almost got in the U.S. Open then, almost got full status on Korn Ferry, and then I also got into the Barracuda and played my first ever PGA Tour event. Andy took me in like a brother, and he's still treated me the exact same since we've been working together, and he's amazing. He's very, very knowledgeable, and like the same thing as Dr. Brett McCabe, he definitely gets the best out of every single one of his students.
Yeah, he's going to be out there, man. Andy texted me Monday night after you made it into the U.S. Open, and he was like, if I didn't have to work tomorrow and if I didn't have a child, I would go out and have 1,000,000 beers with you right now. And I said, well, we'll just have to hold that off until Alistair wins the U.S. Open at Oakmont. But I'm pumped he's going to be out there for the week. That's great.
Yeah, so we'll get a little redemption of the month of May. June is definitely our month.
Let's just roll all this good momentum into this Korn Ferry event, by the way, right? I mean, that's like, let's win this thing now. Like, let's take all of this juju, all this good momentum, and just let's tackle what's ahead right now. And like, Oakmont's just on the schedule. Like, this is a huge event for you. Like, just keep this thing rolling, man. All that pressure going in, shooting a 64. Like, this should feel like, oh my God, like a privilege to go out and play right away instead of having to wait around.
Yeah, I'm actually taking it really easy. I didn't do anything yesterday other than chip and putt. Today, I'm kind of doing the same thing. I'm going to go see the PT, get my arm and everything checked out, and make sure I'm all set to go. I don't know if Riggs mentioned to you guys.
No, I've never mentioned it. I wasn't sure if you knew, but this is crazy story.
Yeah, I got in a very, very bad car accident a couple weeks ago.
Oh my God.
in Knoxville, Tennessee. I was making a left. This lady ran the red light and T-boned me. I was almost done with my turn. And I was taken to the hospital. I was in there for
Jesus.
about 9 hours. They're picking out glass, CT scans, a lot of bruising. There was no broken bones, no concussion. That minivan saved my life. And the perspective on life just changed. I mean, it was, I am healthy. I am alive. Golf is the last thing that you need to be worried about. So it was taking care of your body, making sure you're healthy enough. And as much as I say that, I wanted to tee it up the Thursday after it happened on a Tuesday. But I didn't. I took Knoxville off. I didn't hit another golf shot until the following Tuesday in Raleigh. And I was just chipping it. I wasn't walking the same. Still very, very sore and bruised up. And then I played at like 75, 80% for the Raleigh Corn Ferry event. I gave myself a chance. I played really good on Thursday. I missed the cut by 1 on Friday. And then I rested again on Saturday and Sunday. And I think that's what gave myself the enough, energy and strength of getting through the U.S. Open qualifier. Because 36 holes walking a golf course is no easy task. Plus you're under all that pressure to, compete at the highest level. But yeah, I'm very, very thankful to be alive. And now the stars are changing. I've had enough heartbreaks and bad things happen to me. It's about time I get a break, and I'm going to U.S. Open at Oakmont. Like that's amazing.
Gave me the chills, man. I mean, yeah, I'm glad everything ended up working out. I mean, that's scary. Like we were just making a left turn, all of a sudden, like blink of an eye, you're just in a car accident, a massive, massive accident that you have no idea what's happening. You're probably freaking out. You don't know what's broken. You don't know what's going on.
Dude,
yeah,
this guy was
shit, man.
covered in blood, car totaled, like crazy scene. And then Al texted me last week and was like, beware the injured golfer. Let's fucking go. And then he just qualified for the US Open. So it is like, it's like, God,
Wow.
thank God you're okay overall, Alistair. Very, very happy for that and healthy. And, little perspective pie there, as we talked about many times on this show, could go a long way. So fuck, man. It's just it's a crazy story with you. It's why people love you. It's why you're our guy. It's why we got you rocking the Barstool golf gear. Frankie made a great point of like that Pebble Beach story 6 years ago, dude. That's when the Blues won the Stanley Cup 6 years. That feels like a lifetime ago. And like
to me, it feels like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I can imagine. God, I can imagine. Unreal. Well, let's win this week. Let's win next week. If there's a time to get hot and win a couple weeks in a row, why not these 2 weeks?
Yeah, like I said, I've had enough bad things happen to me. It's about time I get a break and start taking advantage again.
This guy's gonna end up in a movie. Like Dennis Quaid's gonna end up playing fucking Alistair Docherty when he's he's old now, but I always think Dennis Quaid, like the movie The Rookie, and fucking he came out with that golf movie recently. Like this guy has lived a movie life, like driving around from event to event, getting in car accidents, finishing one stroke back multiple times. It's like fucking let's give Alistair let's get that next act in the movie done. Like we've already done like the sob story now. Now it's time to start lifting some hardware. You know what I mean? Like we gotta if you're going through like the show sheet or whatever I'm trying to think of, like the the script
storyboard,
we're turning that page, man. That storyboard is now the next board just got put up, and now we're all looking at, all right, now it's all the success. We are right there, baby. Let's fucking go, man. I'm jacked up for Alistair Docherty, man. This is exciting stuff.
Do you guys know if the top of the U.S. Open trophy falls off like it does the PGA Championship?
You tell us.
Screw that thing on. Yeah, you're gonna let us know next Sunday night.
God, man, come on.
That would be awesome. I'm just so excited to go.
God, dude, it's like we've talked a lot about. It's just our glory days with sports are over. They've been over for a long time. I never get to put a helmet on again, strap up, lace the skates, and have it matter in any way, shape, or form. And you get to go into the U.S. Open at Oakmont, and it's like I said, you're tied with Rory, Scotty, everybody else that qualified, and it's like, dude, you got to golf your ball around that place as best you can. It's just you against yourself playing that golf course. There's going to be those USGA flags are waving right up next to the American flag, right up next to the Oakmont flag. And it's strap up and fucking go time. And it's like, you've got the game. You're healthy. Holy shit, is that exciting. Let's go, man.
I'm pumped. I am pumped.
God, can't wait to get out there. I can't wait for you to get out there. Unreal, Al. Congratulations. Weight 64.
Thank
Get
you.
himself into the U.S. Open. That is balling. That is balling. All right. Anybody got anything else? Anything that we're missing here, Frankie? Anything that
Brock
I didn't think
Nelson
about?
just signed in Colorado.
There you go.
3 years,
Who did?
$7.5 million. So happy for my guy. Just a
Oh.
shame we couldn't make it happen on the island, but he's in a good spot. I love Colorado. It's like, actually, I've been to Colorado like 15 times in my life because Hannah has a bunch of family out there. So the fact that we get to go out there and now be with Brock, very, very exciting for him. Not to take this away from Alistair, but, you know, hockey news always comes first.
Dude,
Hockey
I'll
news.
talk hockey with you guys. You know that.
I know that.
Canucks are brutal. I don't know what's going on in that organization.
What are
right
they
now.
doing over there
I
right
don't
now?
know. I don't
I
know.
actually-
but
I
the
just-
Abbotsford Canucks have a chance to win the trophy.
There you go.
I'm going to talk
There
about
you
a
go.
guy. I just golfed this week with Bo Horvat, and you want to talk about a guy that's absolutely just, like, built like a moose. Like his muscles go from like his calf to like his neck. Like he's just like solid. Just a big, solid boy. Just such a good player too, man.
You think he makes Cal Clutterbuck look small?
Yeah, I mean, Cal Clutterbuck at this point's got the dad bod rock. He's got the golf dad hat on.
Yeah, he does, dude.
I was texting him. I was like, "Are you gonna be at U.S. Open at Oakmont?" He goes, "Man, I might have to come watch you, man."
I know, dude. Bro. I mean, you guys have played with him, right? You guys both play with him?
Yeah, it was so awesome.
I mean, you obviously hit the ball a mile, but when he fucking tags one, man, like he tags it.
Oh yeah,
We played the other day, and when he steps on one, I'm like, that's tour like level. Ball's flying forever, lands like in the perfect spot on a string. If he really gave a run at it, he could get to a serious handicap. He's got crazy potential.
Yeah,
he's a good one. He's a good golfer.
Dude, I love the pros are always like, you really have no idea what it takes. But yeah,
no, I know. I'm not saying
he's
he would
a
ever
nice
make
player.
it on tour. I'm saying like I've seen him rattle off like a high 60s, which to me, like as just a guy who's going out there shooting 82s, when a guy shoots a 68 around you, you're like, all right, that's a little bit of a different game.
This episode is brought to you by Brex, B-R-E-X. Any finance folks listening, well, we found something you'll love as much as the excitement of golf's major championships. Meet Brex. It is a modern finance platform built to give you both control and speed with a corporate card, banking, expenses, and travel all in one place. Brex ensures that the best companies can manage company spend, automate expenses, and get every dollar to the right place. This has earned them the trust of 30,000 companies, from fast-growing AI startups to global enterprises. In fact, it has earned the trust right here of Barstool Sports. We use this. We use it for our expenses mostly, the folks on this show, and it is hilarious how much better it is than the other stuff we've used.
Yeah, I'm loving it. The fact that it takes everything that you put into there and sends you one email letting you know this is how much you ended up expensing. This is when it's coming into your bank account. This is when you can expect it. It's so easy. The interface on the actual app is way easier. The fact that you're able to just upload all of these receipts and it does it all for you. It uses whatever sort of technology to read all of the numbers on the receipt that you upload, and it puts it all into categories for you. It saves so much time. We love it. We absolutely love using it. It's changed the way that we do expenses. I did 2 months worth in a matter of 15 minutes, where it used to take me hours. I used to take a full flight to do all my expenses, and I used to dread it. It was so annoying going category by category. So love Brex. Didn't think I'd love an expense system this much, but I do.
You can learn more at brex.com/grow. Once again, go check out that link. It is BREX. That's brex.com/grow. PGA Tour 2K25 Season 2 is out now, featuring the old course at St. Andrews Links, all new challenges mode, and more. And for a limited time, the standard edition is currently 20% off on Xbox Series X and S for Game Pass subscribers, and the deluxe edition is 20% off on PS5 digital only. This is just an awesome game. It's so much fun. Frankie, I know you're pretty deep in this thing.
Yeah, I love 2K. Play it all the time. I'm actually setting up a stream. I'm going to play with my dad and Jersey Jerry. Hopefully next week we're going to get that done during US Open week, one of the nights that everyone's really into golf. You want to watch a little bit more content late at night, we're going to figure that out. We did the Home of Golf Classic, or I think it was the Home of Golf Open at St. Andrews in the Barstool Golf Society last week when they first put it in the game. They absolutely nailed St. Andrews. I'm telling you, it is so much fun playing it. The graphics are incredible. They built this to the exact, millimeter of what St. Andrews looks like in real life, and the ball runs forever. It's so much fun. That first hole, I hit a driver and it just rolled like 60 yards into the little creek, the burn, whatever they call it. And it was so frustrating. But then you're nipping a little wedge right at it. You have to kind of check it. It's so realistic. You got to hit little pitch shots into the mounds. You can't just use a 60-degree everywhere. It's so realistic, this game. So make sure you go check it out. PGA Tour 2K25. We've got a lot of challenges too. Like there'll be 3-hole challenges at Quail Hollow, and they're like, you got to make 3 birdies coming in, and it's a lot of fun. Our logo is everywhere in the game. In Society, it's on all the caddies' bibs. It's on the top leaderboard. It's next to your name. You can get tags now, like these tags like underneath your name, like your gamer tag will be now the Tiger Swing progression guy, and it's like you can tell people basically like your banner is like a Barstool Golf banner. It's amazing how integrated we are to the game. So make sure you go check it out. It's so much fun. I love it.
I'll make sure you go buy PGA Tour 2K25 now. Once again, go check it out. Very realistic, very awesome. Go buy PGA Tour 2K25 now.
Frankie, what happened to you shooting low 70s? Last year, weren't you?
Dude, I'm on a crazy run
in?
right now of like 81s, and I'm actually hitting the ball better than I probably ever hit it. And I think it's just putting and like lag putting in particular. I'm not making enough 2-putts. I'm like making way too many bogeys where like I'm not making enough birdies because I'm not making long 12-footers, and I'm not making enough like, if I hit the edge of the green, I walk away with a 4. I'm walking away with 5s and 6s. I'll 4-putt on your ass like in a blink of an eye. It's just brutal.
Wild.
And we're playing like I don't know.
Are we gonna possibly relate this to being a dad? Because this is kind of what happened to Ricky. This is kind of what happened to Jordan Spieth.
No.
There's some truth to that.
They became a dad, and then the ball wasn't dropping.
I was mid-70s last year with like when we were playing a lot of breaking at 85s and 90s with Trent. We were playing like the Rockville Links and like all these local courses that I'm like really, really familiar with. And I can kind of like, I know my way around them, and I really don't get in much trouble. And now I'm on this, I mean, it's crazy like to say, but like I'm on this run of like, with these guys are all in their off seasons. So we're playing these like big ball. I mean, we played Shinnecock and Deepdale, and they're playing it from 7,000 yards. So like I'll shoot like Deepdale, I'll shoot like an 83 from 7,000 yards. And I'm like, all right, like, pretty fucking good day. Like, I'm not shooting my 75 anymore, but it's like, I don't know. I just can't get in those 70s. I haven't played, even when I play like Colonial right here, I told Riggs like the slope and it's like a 74, it's a 75 and like I forget what it was. It was like higher than Bethpage.
140 or something like that.
142, like 75. I'm like, yeah, I shoot like an 82, and it's like my handicap's not really moving anywhere, but I don't know. It's frustrating. Like I just can't get in this. I haven't shot in the 70s in a while, like a long time.
It'll come.
Yeah. Once you just add that length for us as amateur golfers, it changes the game.
Oh,
like,
for
you're
sure.
not hitting those pitching wedges and nine irons in anymore. You're hitting 5 irons into greens.
It's the biggest thing right now for me that I'm noticing. It's like, dude, if I play courses with like my buddies or my dad, and we play from 6,500 yards, like I really like my chances. And the minute we stretch it to 7 or 7,100 or something, it's just a nightmare of a difference for me. It's like I feel like I got to smash every tee shot. You're way back. You're like missing fairways more because you're feeling like you got to hit it way harder. Now you've got like a 5-iron in from the rough, and it just adds up dramatically. And Cal's playing a bunch of I think he's playing a bunch of amateur stuff. He's starting to play a lot of that like this summer, isn't he?
Very good.
Where I would like, yeah, I think he might. I would like to see how he does in some of that stuff, because you're right, his game is fucking solid.
We're gonna get him in a video here soon. We also gotta get fucking Alistair in a video, show how fucking good this guy is to the YouTube world.
Dude, I was thinking, what if, because Riggs has all these hater stuff. What if Riggs and I paired up and took on other people? 2-man scramble.
I mean,
We'd be
you're
a
like the
weapon.
best golfer in the world. Like, I mean, you're gonna kill who the hell would beat you?
I don't know. I mean, the good guys have some good guys.
I like it. I mean, yeah, if like you guys were like, you guys could go up against freaking Grant and Phil Mickelson, I think you guys would have a pretty good chance at that.
I would love to do that. I would love to do that. Come on.
That would be sick.
Hey, Grant, Phil, if you guys are listening, we'll do
that.
that.
If you beat Grant this week at BMW, he has to have that match lined up.
2-man scramble. Me and Riggs, Grant, and Phil.
I love that. I absolutely
sign us up.
No, I think you guys would be a great team. I mean, especially as a scramble with your length, the way that you're able to play long courses. Then Riggs as an amateur, people don't like to hear when we talk good about Riggs' game, but
yeah, true.
Turn
it off if you're listening.
I love backing Riggs' game. Some of the guys out here are like, no way he's that handicap. I'm like, dude, you guys haven't played with him. I'll back Riggs to the day.
Crazy hands around the green, crazy putting.
They're like, it looks so bad. I'm like, yeah, but it's good.
Thank you. That's exactly what Whitney said too. Whitney's like, it's so ugly, but it's pretty good. That's what he said. It's like, thanks, I'll take it. Yeah, Alice played a lot of golf with me. See me play pretty well and see me play shitty. It's just how it is. We're weekend golfers.
It's exactly what we talk about, though. I mean, when you play a golf course that you don't have to smoke driver and you have mid irons to wedges into these greens, you're going to play solid. But when you have, mini driver into a par 4, where you're playing the back tees at Whisper, the back tees at, Greyhawk, it's like, man, this is brutal. Now you're putting so much stress on your short game, and where you could be making some nice, easy 4s, now you're stressing for 4 or 5.
Yeah. No, that happens a lot. And Greyhawk is a great example. Like, especially when we play the Talon course, it's like 7,000 or so from the tips, and I can like hang, and it's not as severe. There's a few holes where if I don't hit a great drive, I've got like 5 wood into the hole, but like whatever. When we play the Raptor course, which is for everybody listening, the one where they had the NCAAs for like 3 years in a row, it's like 7,300 or whatever it is from back there. And we go out there every Saturday and play. And it's like half the holes I'm hitting like driver, and I'm taking a head cover off to like hit into some of these holes because it's just so long. And that's if I hit a good drive. I hit a shitty drive, I'm in the desert, probably taking it unplayable. I'm like 240 yards out. It's like, all right, I'm hitting my 3rd shot on this par 4. This is going to be dicey, so it can add up pretty quickly. But we play like the Palo Verde tees or whatever. They're like 6,500 from out there. All of a sudden things are a little different for me. I got to find some distance. We got to talk to Andy. I'm going to get some distance going.
We got to get you skating again and get moving through the ball. That's when you're
skating again
best.
Today. I know. I'm skating again today.
I love it.
Twice this week.
Dude, yesterday, 2 days ago, I played Deepdale, and second hole, it's like 535 par 5, and I hit a drive like 280, right? Down the middle. It's as far as I can hit it. I'm not getting into 300, especially with not any roll. So just it kind of landed there. Felt good. Cal hit one 325 and asked me if I hit 3 wood. He asked me if I hit 3 wood. Barzy was like, Frankie laid up with a wedge. It was like, I'm like, this is as good of a drive as I can hit. Next shot, Caddy looks at me and goes, all right, let's just lay up like left of the bunker. I'm like, well, what is it to the hole? He said it was 252. And Riggs, I mean, you guys saw Stream Song, when I can get that 3 wood on a string and I can just keep hitting it. We did a video where we were like it was the drinking mulligans, and I just kept ripping 3 wood, and I hit 5 onto the green from 250. So I knew I could hit this shot, dude. I knew I could do it. And it's like the second hole at Deepdale is like a crazy green, and like there's a bunker protecting it on the left, and there's also like a short one right. So like there's a landing area on the right, and the caddy literally was disgusted that I was going for this. He's like, "You suck." Like I'm wearing like I was wearing a large polo because Pilar and Allison have now moved me to large. I think they're trying to tell me something, but it was like it was a little big on me. And he's like, you can't get there. And I pissed on this freaking 3 wood, and it went on a string right at the hole and sat maybe to 5 feet. And I'm looking around saying, I looked at them and I'm like, I think, no joke, the way I just hit those 2 shots, like if Rory McIlroy played here today, he would sign up for those 2 shots in a fucking heartbeat. The way that both balls just like went off the club face, the way that obviously I had a 10-footer or 5-footer for fucking eagle, missed it, made a birdie, left it short, 5-foot putt, left it 3 feet short.
Oh, you're supposed to take the head cover off.
3 feet short. I was hitting it.
I bet they were roasting you for that.
And it's just like, that is that fire in the amateur golfer that like, if that's in there, how do I keep doing that? Right. Cause like that drives me crazy. That's what the thing about golf that is so infuriating. It's not comparable to any other sport. Like it's just like flashes of legit, like another player pop out. It's not like in baseball, I can just like hit a 330-foot home run. Like I don't have that in me. But like in golf, I can hit a shot that like legit is tour level. And then I'm thinking to myself, like, where is that? What went into that swing? Nothing like outer body happened. I just am the same person over the golf ball, just like I am on hole 15 and 17 and 18, where I made triple bogeys, where it's like, where is that swing? And what does it take to keep doing that? Like, how have you guys figured out how to keep doing that all the time? I know you hit a million golf balls, but like, there's got to be something in there that I can't repeat that swing all the time. I got mad when I hit that shot, by the way. Like I was angry.
It's funny that you relate it that way, and I'm thinking it's the opposite way. Like when I hit a terrible golf shot, I'm like, who was that? And then I, hit another, and I'm like, yeah, that's the same guy. Like you are way better than that golf shot. Like move on. But like you're
that
like,
mindset
that
switch.
that perfect shot. Where's that guy all the time? Well, that's what I feel like, hitting the shots, and then the bad one comes. I'm like, what the fuck was that?
That's so funny. Yeah. Like you hit that 7-wood during the qualifier, and it's like you're like, yeah, that's just who I am. But if you like duck hooked one, you'd be like, I don't know who that just was.
Yeah, that 7-wood was insane. I want that feeling. Actually, Frankie, I'll take it back. That golf shot, I want that every time. How do I do that every time?
Yeah.
260,
Dude, I
7-wood
walked this thing down. I walked this thing down like I was Rory at fucking 15 at Augusta. Like I legit walked this thing towards the green. Yeah. It was nuts. There's no better feeling in golf when you pure fucking fairway wood towards the green. It's got to be the best feeling. I honestly, it doesn't happen. It happens once a year for me. Maybe once a year while I hit a green regulation on a par 5 with a 3-wood. And there is no better feeling.
Yeah, you're just dragging your nuts walking to the green. It's awesome.
Especially at our level, because when you're standing over that ball, there's also like a 5 or 10% part of you that's creeping in your head. Like, I could just totally top this, and this could go 7 yards.
I mean, let's be honest. Dude. Like the success rate going in, the probability of green and regulation, like in the top right, was probably like of the screen was probably like 8%, or maybe even less. Right, like 3% chance of hitting that green.
Yeah, the fact your caddy's telling you to lay up too.
Oh, yeah, right. Disgusted. Threw the club at me. Like,
take this.
He's like, all right, I'm gonna help the other guys.
Dude, to the point of Alistair with like him being like shocked and pissed if he hits a bad shot. I remember we were watching the final round of Q School this year, and we were with Andy as coach, and we're like on the back 9, and we like with the coverage, all they panned to was like a golf ball rolling up the left side of the fairway and like into the rough/water on the left side of the fairway. We didn't know who hit it. And I was sitting there and I was like, what the fuck? Who was that? Was that Al? Is that Alistair? Does he have the honor? Is that Alistair? And Andy just goes, it went left. That's impossible. I was like, and then sure enough, like Al was next and hit like a mini driver down the middle. It went like 320 yards. And then when I was talking to Al the next day and we were debriefing, I told you that story. And you were like, no, that's impossible. That would never be going left. And I was like, yeah, all right. That's just a completely different level.
There would have to be something really that went wrong if that ball went left.
Yeah, like the crack, like the driver's cracked if that went left. Like there's no way.
I'd like to go in your guys' brain and like what it feels like to stay that consistent just for one day. I'd love to go into an elite golfer's shoes and like change bodies with them and feel just how that golf swing feels, like knowing exactly where it's going and how consistent it is.
We're still very, very nervous. That's for sure.
I don't doubt
just
that.
Being able to react and just being able to trust that you've put all that work in to hit the shot that you're capable of doing it. So just being able to do it under that pressure.
The mental side for sure. I think it's me more just like be able to physically recreate that swing over and over again, and also be able to like, you watch Scotty, it's like I don't think he recreates any swing from shot to shot. He's moving and shaking, he's sliding, his arms are all over the place. Like just to be able to feel that, man.
It starts to become more reactionary. You're not thinking of the swing or some kind of mechanics. You're thinking about target. You're thinking about how the ball's going to come off and where the trajectory and what window it's going to go through, and you're just reacting. That's the biggest thing. Feeling. That's the biggest thing that I see with Scotty. Yeah, he's got crazy feet, but he's reacting. He knows what shot shape he's going to hit. He's looking at his target. He knows which window it's coming out. He's just reacting through the ball. And that's just the way that his body reacts.
Probably been the biggest thing that's helped for me this year, at least in terms of just being able to perform better, not great, but better, is like go through all the mechanical thoughts and stuff on the range and when you're practicing. But when you're out there, like it's so easy to think about, like, okay, I need my hands to come back this way, and then I really need to hinge and send the club upwards, and then from here, I need to like shallow it in order to make. Like, you're thinking, like, it's very common to think about one of those things, all those things on the golf course, instead of like when you're out there. I'm just what is again like when I'm actually able to play well, which doesn't happen all the time. Like just standing over a tee, being like, all right, I'm going to hit this ball from the inside and draw it off the tee. That's just what I'm going to do, and I'm going to aim down the right, and like. You've done all the other shit on the range that's like in theory gotten you to this point where you can at least do that to some capability, and like trusting that on the course is, if you could get to that point, is like such a difference. It's instead of what I think a lot of us get stuck into is like, all right, this is what I'm working on in the range. This is what I need to work on over the golf ball. And now here I am doing that on the golf course. And that can turn into a fucking nightmare when you're out there trying to do that.
For sure. I also think that's why some people play very well when they're drinking, because it's less thoughts. You're just reacting.
Oh yeah, big time.
They find that slot.
Yeah, the slot. Obviously, as people have seen, if you get too drunk, nobody's going to be that great of a performer. But dude, you get in that slot where you're like buzzed and you're kind of feeling loosey goosey, swing oil, whatever you want to call it, and like thoughts go out the window. You're kind of just reacting. You're smooth like butter out there, and you can play great golf. So it's like, how do you bring that without having to be drinking out there?
Yeah. A lot of practice and being in the situation more often.
Yeah, 100%. That helps for sure. And unfortunately, we find ourselves in those situations quite frequently where all of a sudden it's like, oh, we've got a huge video and a huge match at a really hard golf course. Oh my God. I hit one shitty off the tee. Oh my, now we're halfway through and I'm 100 over par. Oh, fuck.
Now where's this going? Where's this?
Oh God. Nightmare stuff. Just nightmare stuff. I love golf. What a game, dude. What a game. What a mind fuck this whole thing is.
Oakmont. Come on.
Right, baby.
And an Oakmont scorecard right here in front of me. Look at this. How good is this logo right here,
Yep.
Is this thing any good?
Yep. I'm going to have to get a few flags right when I get there so they don't run out.
You don't want to see what's on the inside.
You might need one up there on your wall there, huh?
Oh, yeah. Nice Alistair Docherty signed one.
You got the Pebble one.
Ooh.
That's right.
I might try to get myself an Alistair Docherty signed one.
I got to swap those out. Matt Fitzpatrick. I forgot that he signed that one. The Country Club. That's a good one.
I got to bring my 2025 Masters flag to Oakmont and see if I can get Rory to sign it. See if he'll just scoff
Gary
at me.
Woodland, what a guy.
That's sick. A good one. I know. All right, Docherty. What a goddamn week.
Pumped for you, dude. As always, just a great story. Awesome that you tell it. We got to get you more involved. I mean, hopefully everyone listening to this, there already are huge fans, but just like, what a story. What a journey to also just like check in on and root for. It's awesome stuff, man.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Thank you, guys.
Of course, Al. Keep it up. Play great this week. We'll see you in Oakmont, which is so cool to say. That place is just, I get the chills thinking about walking around there, watching you stripe balls, wearing that mock neck right there. You're going to be able to get that thing in the laundry before next week, You
make sure thing's fresh. We're in an Airbnb. Right. We'll be good.
All right, get that thing clean and steamed out. By the way,
we'll work on Frankie, the mock on the graphics for the scripting, because that's I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I think we got to get a couple clothing or a couple apparel items to Shawnee. I believe there might be a few extra things being thrown on there too.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I got a little group text cooking with Shawnee right now. We're gonna get Tater set up and we're gonna have you all scripted out.
Oh, I love it.
Frankie, by the way, gave me a great recommendation on a mobile steamer for gear. Do you rock one of these, Al, for when you're on the road?
A mobile steamer. My bags are so damn jam packed. I don't think I have room, but I'm here for it.
Let me hear. Mini steamers. You throw some water at the bottom. It's
thing's fucking great.
It fits in a backpack, and it's just you can't iron all these like those types of clothes that get like stuck to the iron.
Yeah, they just winkle sitting in there.
It's not really. I mean, that material just kind of like falls weird when you're sitting, but I mean, it looks great when you're walking around striping golf balls.
You still look great. I would.
It's just more for like some of the materials you can't like iron because it actually like that whatever that like performance material is that sticks to it. So the steamer just fucking steaming changed my life. I never knew that like steaming was that good, and it just really the whole shirt just falls perfectly.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
It sounds awesome. Yeah, this guy's gonna go play freaking golf at freaking the U.S. Open. We're talking about steamers.
Yeah, but you got to make sure you look good out there.
Yeah, and you are wearing our shit, so
yeah, that sounds great.
It's got to look great. It's got to look great.
The logo just looks better on him too. Like looks like bigger and more prominent. It's like unbelievable.
He actually adds credibility. We just look like dumpy and loserish. He's out there just a fine-tuned athlete.
Yeah, no, he looks great.
Thanks for pumping me up.
You deserve it. You deserve it,
you,
Alistair. All right. Well, you're the man. Great golfing. 64. Insanity. Go play. Carry that momentum into this week. Carry that momentum into Oakmont. We're going to see you out there in Pittsburgh. I cannot wait. Very proud of you. And thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard. Ship Sticks. With Ship Sticks, it is much better. It makes you really enjoy a stress-free airport travel, which is very hard to come by, especially if you're a golfer traveling with your clubs all the time. There's no more wrestling with oversized bags, worrying about your clubs getting lost in transit. Ship Sticks takes the stress out of airport travel. It really is incredible how much more seamless this makes travel when you use Ship Sticks.
It really is. I fell in love with Ship Sticks when I ended up using it for my buddy's trip going to Big Cedar. We all use Ship Sticks, and the idea that the golf clubs were not a part of our stress or our worry while traveling, while making connections, going from point A to point B to then point C, where a lot of the times your clubs are like the only thing on your mind. Are they going to make the connection? We got a tight connection in Charlotte. You got to get over to Missouri. It's like crazy. You're hectic, and then you're like, are my clubs going to make it? You're air tagging them. Just take all that out and bake this into the price of what your trip's going to end up being, and you just have a stress-free. Your golf clubs are at the resort. They're at the golf course. No matter where you're going on a business trip, you don't want to have your golf clubs with you. Send them to the course. Send them to the hotel. They're going to be there waiting for you when you get there. So that to me is like the biggest selling point, where it's like you already got a lot going on for all these trips, whether they're business or pleasure. Don't have your golf clubs be like the thing that you're lugging around and like worrying about if you have to take rental clubs or they're breaking. Dude, Ship Sticks is so pristine, so seamless. I love it.
You can also get 20% off. We're offering you 20% off your next shipment, with the code FOREPLAY20. That's FOREPLAY20, FOREPLAY and the number 20. That's your code FOREPLAY20 at shipsticks.com, and you are going to get 20% off your next white glove service. You're going to have a great service that you're going to really enjoy. It's going to be seamless. It's going to be easy. It's going to make your travel way better. And you can get 20% off your next shipment. That is code FOREPLAY20 at shipsticks.com. All right, folks, we are joined here on the Foreplay podcast for, I believe, the very first time by the current 44th ranked player in the world. He's coming off a T7, so a nice top 10 finish at a very difficult golf course at the Memorial. Mr. Tom Hoge, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Excited to be on.
We're excited to have you. I want to talk a little bit, last week, Muirfield, just because it's kind of fresh in everybody's mind. You had a very nice finish. Course is playing incredibly difficult. How kind of like nice is that going into a week like next week, which is the U.S. Open, to play a really tough test and kind of get you prepped for some difficult golf?
Yeah, it was good. It felt a lot like a U.S. Open just from the standpoint of, pitch out rough for the most part. That was about as bad as I had ever seen. Certainly Muirfield Village, but pretty much anywhere we play. There were lies in the rough that you just be trying to hit it 100 yards forward with a pitching wedge, and you'd struggle to get it to go 20 yards. So it was definitely U.S. Open rough last week. And, for me, more than anything, it's a golf course that I've really struggled at the last few years. So to play well and finish seventh kind of came out of nowhere for me, and was a nice little bit of confidence here going to the U.S. Open that maybe I could do this thing.
Have you gotten out to Oakmont at all yet this year?
I've not. I played in the 2016 U.S. Open. Remember how hard it was from that. And, I know that quite a few changes have been made, I'm sure, from Gil Hands coming there and redoing it. So I know it'll be a little bit different. But, man, I just remember that was like the hardest golf course I'd ever seen tee to green. Some of those fairway bunkers and everything are so tough. And I certainly know it's going to be a tough week. And more than anything, I feel like it's going to be a mental challenge. Just hang in there and just keep getting beat up the whole week and just keep taking it.
How does your prep work, kind of go? I mean, I know this week you're kind of hanging a little bit, but next week, do you get there? How early do you get there? Do you start doing any research? Are you looking at any YouTube videos? Are you looking at any like old school videos, you're looking at articles about the changes. How do you kind of gear up for a big week like US Open week?
Yeah, so I qualified for the first time for the US Open in 2015, Chambers Bay, and I played 16 Oakmont as well. And both those weeks were like I got there, Monday morning, was at the golf course, sun up to sundown every day, hitting balls, playing the golf course, doing everything. And by the time Thursday came, I was worn out and played terrible. And after those, kind of like, you know what? This isn't really working here. What I do the other 30 weeks a year seems to work pretty good. And let's stick to that plan a little more. So, I'll go up there Monday morning. I've generally just been playing 9-hole practice rounds Tuesday. We play 9 holes for the pro on Wednesday. So I'll probably keep that same plan of just playing 9 holes each day and away we go and see if my game's good. For me, I feel like my iron play is always a strength for me, and driving's probably my weakest part of my game. So I know I've got to have a good week driving the golf ball there. That's just the way that Oakmont's going to play. If you miss fairways, you're going to make bogeys. So I got to have a good week driving, and that's kind of my focus right now.
You ever change the way you're like, when you step up to the first tee at Oakmont, it's a big ballpark kind of golf course. Are you changing the way you're actually like physically striking the golf ball, like mentally, to play a course like that? Or is it just like, this is my game and let's just see how it translates to a US Open golf course?
Yeah, I think more than anything, it's just, trying to do what I do well, play to that a little bit. So for me, get the ball in the fairway, whether that's hit a few less drivers off the tee or whatnot, we'll do that. But I think Oakmont, just the distances has going to force your hand to hit driver off most of those holes. So really, yeah, try to do what I do best and go from there, not change a whole lot. But like you said, you just got to be sharp, and you hope that it's one of those weeks throughout the year that your game's sharp and feels good and ready to go, because you're not going to fake it around there.
That's the interesting thing about professional golfers, how you guys go out there week to week and like, you just got to trust your game and not really move outside of that. As amateur golfers, whenever we play different golf courses and we have different matches, like in my own life, my own game, like I'll play a bigger, better golf course in a bigger, better match. And like, I feel like I'm changing things as opposed to just like seeing how my game within myself matches up in that match, if that makes any sense, right? Like I'm like hitting it differently. I'm swinging harder. I'm like focusing more. Like things are just like changing for me, as opposed to just being like, no, when I play by myself, when I play these matches, this is just my game, how it tests up at like a harder golf course. So, I mean, it's got to be like something in your guys' brain that you're able to kind of just stay level and just like, this is what I'm going to do. And we're just going to see how that goes.
Well, I think we're all a little bit crazy, first of all. So I think we got to learn that a little bit. For me, like this is my 11th year on tour. I would say it definitely took a few years to kind of have the patience of like, you just have some bad weeks out there. You know that your stretch of good golf is going to come. You just got to kind of wait for it and, keep sticking to your practice plan, the things you want to get better at, and know that eventually the results are going to show up. I mean, that's the hardest part about golf, right? So you can keep putting in the work. Think of a guy like Max Homa who's been working his butt off, and eventually that's going to catch back up here for him, and he'll see the results here pretty soon. So you just got to be patient and wait for that little run that you're going to catch in golf.
Have you ever thought that if you were born 20 years earlier, how dominant you might be? And the reason I asked that is because I looked up your driving distance. Like you mentioned, driving is maybe not your biggest strength. Driving distance on tour this year, 293.2 yards, which has you at 155th place. In the year 2000, you would have been third in driving distance on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, but if we went back to the year 2000, Tiger would have just been kicking my ass. I probably would have been looking for else to do because I couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah,
it's funny you say that. Like, a lot of this talk now is with the golf ball and what's coming ahead with the rollback and everything. I mean, I look back to my first year on tour, 2014, 2015. My driving distance was probably about the same number at that point, and I was maybe 40th or 50th in driving distance. So it's just amazing, how much more athletic and younger guys have got to where distance has become such a big deal out there, But yeah, I mean, it's kind of a focus. You see a guy like Ben Griffin who's improved his ball speed quite a bit, and how could I get, a few more miles an hour ball speed? So as we get to some of these bigger golf courses like in Augusta, like Oakmont, that I can compete a little better.
Yeah, it's a really interesting conundrum, because we've heard a bunch of tales of players, trying to chase speed, and it can throw their game completely off, and it can throw off the parts of their game that make them who they are and have gotten them to where they are. And then you look at a guy like Matthew Fitzpatrick. I mean, I remember when he came out and won the US Open, and it was unbelievable how far he was hitting the golf ball and how much distance he had gained. I think he was doing the stack system and going crazy with it, and it worked out for him. But again, other players, we see them change. They're chasing swing speed, or I know like Martin Keimer changed his game to try to find the draw so that he could compete at Augusta and lost his game. Have you been like tempted before to try to really chase some distance, chase some miles per hour?
Well, there's a few things in there. So I've played the left dot golf ball from Titleist for a long time, which is their lowest spinning, lowest launching. And, because of that, it's coming a little bit flatter. So as you play these golf courses like Oakmont, I'm at a disadvantage because I'm coming in from a lower height, right? So my ball's going to bounce out more. That's where I feel like I'm more at a disadvantage with distances. As we play firmer golf courses, it's harder to stop it coming into some of these greens. That's where I would say my focus is. So I've had a lot of conversations this year of, is it worth it to change golf balls or chase distance a little bit to try to play better at our biggest events of the year that are firmer, harder tests? I don't know that I've landed on a good answer for that, because I feel like, I've had a decent career to this point, but I really want to get in the mix of a major and play well in some of these big events that we have. And I feel like I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage just going into a week like Oakmont, like I said, because I'm playing from a little bit lower height. It's harder to stop it coming into the greens. But at the same point, I do pretty well the other 25 weeks a year. So is it worth changing it all for that? And I could be off the tour in a year because I went down the wrong rabbit hole. So I don't know that I have a good answer for that. It's something that I battle with all the time. But I think that as I look at it more than anything, I'm 36 now. I want to make this deal last on tour as long as I can. And I do think that keeping speed up is definitely going to be a part of that. That, all the guys that have played well in their 40s, they were either long hitters from the start and kind of, fell back to average as they got older, or they put in a lot of effort to stay and keep their ball speed up at a high rate. So a lot goes into it, and hopefully not screw up the rest of the parts of my game pretty well too along the way,
Right. And it's not like you guys have a big off season. It feels like, like if you're playing, you guys are playing all the time. So it's like, if you really wanted to make some pretty serious changes and be like, all right, I'm going to chase this, or we're going to really try to tweak that. It's like, well, no, next week or in a couple of weeks, you're out there playing and competing for a big purse and points that matter and all that. So it's probably a very tricky thing to try to decide upon.
Yeah, and I mean, to me, you look at a guy like Bryson, what he did there, that total transformation, and it's just amazing that more than anything, he just stepped out on that limb and said, I'm going to go try this thing because I think it's the right move. And I mean, you don't know where your game's going to end up when you go make a move like that. But yeah, you mentioned Matt Fitzpatrick as well. There have been guys that have done it very effectively. And even a guy like Jordan Spieth, I would say, I think that he's gained a lot of ball speed, since his run of winning a lot of majors. And, maybe that bled into some other parts of his game that he wish he could have back. But, I played with him last week in Memorial. He seems like he's playing pretty good again right now. So I would expect, quite a bit from him going forward here.
Such a good point you bring up. Like, you're 44th in the world right now. Like, do you make a ball change or an equipment change to try and pursue something that's a little bit higher? Or do you, like, with the risk that you could drop from there, it's like such a good, you're top 50 golfer in the world, where it's like, do I try and do everything I can, knowing that I'm going to like really, really get to the limit of like what I can maybe do like physically or whatever. Like, you're trying to like reach a potential that you've never reached yet. But does that have a downfall of like, I'm not going to be in that cushiony top 50 spot in the world as a golfer right there? That's a crazy little thought process you got there, Tom Hoge.
It's such a fine line too, because I've always said, I don't know what the exact number is. There's 15, 20, 25 guys. You look at guys Ludwig, John Rahm, you go right off the top guys. They're just better than everybody else, right? Over the course of the season, Rory's always going to be better than I am. And so I don't know where that number falls, 20, 25. Where could my highest point in the world rankings get to, right? And I feel like, I'm kind of in this next little group trying to fight our way up there. But the margins are just so small because there's so many good players. But just to accept that, we're not going to quite break into that top group of guys because they've, got physical gifts, Rory, to watch him drive the golf ball in New Orleans. I mean, unbelievable for people that haven't seen it. So, you just try to make.
Do you almost have to like not watch him? Do you have to like not watch Rory when you're playing with him?
I don't know. I watched every one of them. It was funny. I was supposed to play with Billy Horschel there in New Orleans, and I think our plan was I was going to do the odd holes or whatever. He gets hurt on Wednesday, ends up having surgery on his hip. So Kevin Chappell's my partner. I decided to take the even numbered holes. So Rory and I were walking back to all the tee boxes together. It's like, that was a very humbling day as he's driving at 50 yards by me all day long. But
you're like,
but
sorry,
what's amazing to me is you watch Rory and you watch DJ and some of these great drivers of the golf balls, how straight they hit it. I mean, if I had that ball speed, I'd be looking for balls all day long, and they're right down the middle. And he's pulling driver on hole 10 and some of those hard holes. So it's just, I mean, it's awesome to watch. So I love taking it all in.
I remember we were at the TaylorMade shoot maybe this last year or so, and they were doing a video after we shot a video maybe 2 years ago, and it was like Nelly, Tiger, and Rory standing on a tee, and they were doing some driver video, 30-minute video or something that they were shooting about driving tips or whatever. And Rory hit one and then hit another one, and Nelly just started laughing, and she was like, "It's just so straight," is what she said. And I remember
said to
her
my
just
caddy at
being-
one point, I'm like, just watching him set up, like it looks like he can never go offline. Like, how does he ever miss a shot the way this thing goes? I mean, it's just amazing to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is. It's unbelievably impressive. I got to ask you too about Scotty. I mean, everybody's being asked about Scotty these days. Everybody's got sort of a different take. I think that sort of after Tiger, it really kind of felt like people are like, all right, we won't see that again. There's too much parody. There's too much, everybody's got TrackMan. Everybody's got video. Everybody's got equipment tweaks that are sort of like making it harder to separate yourself. And then here we are. Even with the ravioli incident between last year and this year, I think he's made, I saw $10 million he made, or just $9.9 million just in the month of May. He's gone on a tear that like I kind of prefaced, I just don't think that any of us really thought we might see again. As somebody who's, one of his peers out there, what's your take on how he's able to separate himself so much?
It's pretty incredible. And to even think at a place like last week, Memorial, I mean, it's really easy if you get a little bit off for 5 or 6 holes of the driver that you can make some bogeys. I mean, and, very easy to shoot 74, 75, and he never does it. I mean, it's amazing that, the golf he's been playing, Colonial played pretty tough, pretty tricky in those wins. He played great there. I mean, all these different, and there's such different style of golf, Colonial to Muirfield Village, and no problem. Show up and hit it close and make the putt, and it's an easy game. I don't know. It is amazing, and I was too young to really have a good feel for Tiger in his prime in that deal, but it certainly has that feel to it. I would say as a player that being in contention last week. I think I started Saturday at 2 under par. Saturday was a pretty windy day. It felt like if you shot even par and could hang in there, a couple under, you would be right in the mix. And then Scotty birdies 4 the last 5 or 4 the last 6, whoever it was, to get to 8 under, and it was like, all right, if you were at 2, you had no chance because Scotty's not backing up on Sunday, So I think Jordan Spieth had a comment like that, but it's just like that has that Tiger feel to it. I would say that he's getting in the front and he's going to close the deal.
And even when he's shaky, like on Sunday, he hit a couple shots that he didn't like, and like they're pin high in the rough, he chipped it to a foot. And just like he cleans up everything. That's got to be the most frustrating part about playing against him. Is like even when you think, oh, maybe we've got him today, he just stays so solid. He's just never wavers off of his line enough to really catch him. Where it's like, all right, there it is. There's the double bogey. There's the bogey. There's the blood in the water. There's never any blood. The guy doesn't bleed.
Yeah, I think I saw a few stats last week. He's even creeping up on the list for putting as well, which he doesn't need to add that to the mix either. So he really is playing very well. And I played with him back at Harding Park. It may have been one of his first majors, the PGA Championship at Harding Park during COVID, and he was right up near the lead then. And you could just tell, you get on these tough tests where really can't have any weakness, and that's where he's going to shine. And you get on all these really hard golf courses, and he plays great. And I think it's going to be exciting next week. You go to Oakmont next week. You've got Scotty, who's playing really good golf. Rory's been playing great all year, coming off the Masters, and then, throw Bryson and some of these guys in the mix, and you should be a great week, for golf fans to sit back and watch.
Tom Hoge's like the most humble guy. Like he's playing in this thing. He's like promoting. Like
I just look at it from the fans' perspective. I love watching it all, and you're like, you've got all the best players playing really well. It's pretty.
You're you're out there. You know what I mean?
Like I love that. I love that so much.
Remind you that you're playing this thing. Also, speaking of putting, this guy, you see the stat? 2018, this guy knocked down 816 3-footers for 816. He went 860 for 816. Tom Hoge.
No way.
Really?
You know that stat?
I had no idea. That surprises me. I usually throw some stupid misses in there or something, trying to tap one in. I think this year in Phoenix, I whiffed one from like a foot. So
how do you not know that stat? That's a that's an unbelievable stat. You didn't miss one 3-footer or in. Like that's like
wow.
Rory. You just talked about Rory so glowingly. That guy's missed a couple of big 3-footers. Those are not the easiest, especially the courses you guys play and the pins and just how treacherous those golf courses sometimes tend to be? Like, you must feel like putting for you is a pretty strong, like that's like a comfort spot for you, right?
I would say I'm a pretty streaky putter. I catch runs where I putt pretty well for a couple months, and then it goes cold for a little bit, like anybody else. And try to switch putters and do all that sort of business.
You a tinkerer? You a big tinkerer with the putter?
Putter is kind of the one club that I maybe tinker a little more than most. The rest of the stuff, I play pretty much the same irons that I grew up playing since I was 13 years old. The rest of the stuff, not so much. But putter, I won't be afraid to switch it up. My buddies at home here, I always go play with them. I'll have 4 or 5 putters in the bag. I usually stick with the same one, but I'll have a few close by in case things are going south.
So you had an ace in the par 3 tournament at the Masters this year. Do you get anything cool from the Masters tournament for making an ace?
You get a crystal. Yeah. I made an ace 2 years ago as well. I won the par 3 contest that year. It was funny. My wife was caddying for me, and other people I was playing with were like, "Do you really want to win this thing? With the curse and everything." And I was like, "Hell yeah, I want to win. I want some crystal from Augusta. I mean, I don't know if I'll be back here. I want to win this thing. Let's get something to show for it.
Let's win something, dude. We're at Augusta National. We got to win something here."
It was actually funny that day. A few years, 2023. I had gone out and played 9 holes in the morning. Had some time before the afternoon par 3 contest, and I like playing a little game on TrackMan. Dial in the wedge distances. Give myself a couple yards to land different shots. And man, I did that for about an hour before I went to the par 3 contest. I was dialed in that day. It was kind of like cheating. I feel like going out before the par 3 contest there. I
love that everyone else is like, I'm going to do anything not to win the par 3, and you're grinding on your yardages before.
Well, I will say this year, I made the ace, I think, on 4, and I was 2 or 3 under that point, and I was like, all right, I'm not even going to hit on the 9th hole, so I don't want the temptation here to try to win this thing again.
Then he wins it. Well, he has won it. So I'm going to ask you, are you aware of Tom Hoge Tracker on Twitter?
A lot of people call my attention to it, yes. I'm aware of it.
Well, I just want to shout him out. I mean, I was, in my research for this, in my extensive research for this interview, I typed into Twitter, little Tom Hoge, see what news maybe popped up. And this guy, you got to give this guy some credit. This guy grinds, man. I was looking, on your Thursday round at the Memorial Tournament, this Twitter account must have had over 100 tweets. He's tweeting about every lie you got. He's tweeting about every approach shot you got. And you just kind of mentioned it off the top. You're like, oh, yeah, everybody should be excited about Rory and Scotty going into Oakmont. This guy's pumped about Tom Hoge, dude. This guy is fired up about your game right now. So I just wasn't sure if you're aware of him or not.
You got to keep all 4 of my fans informed of what's going on with me.
He just grinds, dude. He doesn't miss a single thing that you do. So he's a great source. If anybody's looking for Tom Hoge news out there.
Yeah. The trackers have seemed to be a popular deal on Twitter these days. I don't know how it gets to the Tom Hoge level, but
they really tried to capitalize on the Tiger Woods tracker, and I think unless you have Tiger Woods, probably tricky to get the traction you're looking for out there.
Well, the funny thing is, like, if you're not on the main coverage, like our boss Dave, Shane
Lowry.
Shane Lowry during, was it like the Open? One of the majors, he bet Shane Lowry, and he was just relying on the Shane Lowry tracker to like give updates because like he wasn't tracking on the app and like just wanted to know what was going on. And Shane Lowry tracker was like at work and like was like going slow, and Dave was losing his mind, being like, I've got a huge ticket on this guy. So there's a lot of pressure at that point. But I love that the Tom Hoge tracker's just like got a bunch of sandwiches in front of him and shit. And he's just like watching you viciously through the PGA Tour app.
Yeah, he's very committed. When you won at Pebble, AT&T Pro-Am, did our guy Steve John, did he treat you properly after you won that event?
Steve's always been great to me. Where are you going with this? Is there anything in particular?
No, I was just curious. Steve John's a good friend, and if you win the tournament, he doesn't. Whatever. I don't know if it's a bottle of wine. I don't know if you guys go party at the tavern there, tap room. I don't know what the hell you guys do, but I just want to make sure Steve John, takes care of his champions properly.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There was nothing really in particular, and it was a little bit weird because then the event transitioned to a signature event, so it wasn't like you're walking back into the same situation. But he's always been great to me. It's always one of my favorite weeks of the year to go back to Pebble Beach. As far as after the event, nothing exciting. We got a plane and flew to Phoenix and got ready for the Phoenix Open for the next week. But
that is a big one you got to be ready for.
Late night Taco Bell.
What's your order? What's your go-to order?
God, I don't even remember what I went for that night. I'm pretty simple eater. I think there's some Doritos Locos tacos, some nachos, the simple stuff on the menu.
Yeah, keeping it real.
I ordered McDonald's last night, and I ordered on Uber Eats, and my Uber driver's name was Jesus, and the update that came was, your priority order is here. Jesus left the food at your door. And that gave us all a pretty good chuckle. We were just like, that's like the holiest McDonald's we've ever gotten.
Fine dining.
Dining, yeah.
Dude, McDonald's in the right setting, there's nothing that hits better than McDonald's.
Like I said, I was telling Tom right before we recorded, like, we're in the trenches, obviously, with the baby, just like different, like, weird times, and like you're eating at weird times because you're up in the middle of the night. And I just told him, like, I literally just woke up for this interview because, like, I had to go to sleep at 7:00 in the morning because I was up home. And
you'll appreciate this story then. So Saturday, Memorial, they tee us off super late, a 7:30 TV finish. We have about a 6-month-old child, so he was back at the hotel, getting ready for bed at that point. My caddy gave me a ride back to the hotel, and we're right at the intersection. He was in the wrong lane. He had to turn right. Turning right was like getting on the highway. So it's like, I'll just jump out here and walk across the intersection. Let it go. And I'm carrying, a bunch of golf stuff back to the room, whatnot. And it hit me. It's like, well, if I go up to the room, go get the car keys to go get some food tonight, I'm going to wake up the kid and everything. It's like, there's McDonald's right here. I'll just walk into McDonald's with all my shit and go back to the room. So
dang.
That was the key for a nice charge on Sunday. So you gotta get that with McDonald's sometimes.
Maybe I got something going on today. I mean, I got a big day today, so hopefully that charges me towards something successful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just one of those things. Like we had someone come and visit him, and then like we're like, "Oh, do you want to stay for dinner?" And they're like, "Yep." And we said, "What do we want to get?" And then I was like, "McDonald's." Like it's just like it hits you. It's like 9:00 at night, and we're all just kind of sitting around. We just watched Wheel of Fortune. It's like we're just turning into grandparents, and you like McDonald's hits you like a ton of bricks. No free ads or anything, but it's like, God damn, it hits so good. Coca-Cola from there.
Oh. God, it really is delicious.
Damn.
Fries. I know you're a Fargo, North Dakota guy. It's not necessarily a, PGA Tour hotbed up there. Are there, many games up there? You kind of, what's your winter plan? Do you guys stay up there through the winter and everything?
No, I went to school at TCU, so we live down in Fort Worth, Texas now. I've been here since. I keep Fargo as the hometown. Like you said, not many golfers have come out of North Dakota, so it's cool to be announced from Fargo every day on the first tee. But I tend to stick to like July and August. My time as a visit. That's kind of the 2 months to go up there when the weather can cooperate and play a little bit of golf. And when it's 110 back home in Texas, it's always a great spot to go up there and cool down a little bit.
I went to the Arizona State was hosting North Dakota hockey this winter, and I went to a couple games with my friend Commodore, and it's amazing how nice all the North Dakota folks were. Like they were geared up, they traveled incredibly well, as you could imagine. Everybody had a jersey on, and then even though I had used the old DraftKings Sportsbook and I had bet on ASU, so I was rooting against the North Dakota folks. Were so nice. Everybody was insanely nice. They're buying us beers. Everybody was great.
They love their hockey up there. That's for sure. And that's a good series because a lot of the North Dakota people got to get the heck out of the snow. We come down to Phoenix in the winter, so I'm sure that was a pretty big crowd for them that game.
We did a little road trip. A couple of the guys. We went from like from Chicago to Iowa to Omaha to South Dakota, and then we went to Bismarck, but we played this place Hoge in North Dakota.
Yeah. Black sand,
crazy. Yeah. Just a weird, just like the ball's literally like floating, like you're just not used to seeing it so vibrant on the sand. It's a very strange depth perception thing.
Yeah, for sure. There's some cool golf, kind of it's all spread out throughout North Dakota, but you get some of the western part of the state and get some of those elevation changes, some good stuff, and very flat on the eastern side by Fargo where I grew up. So some pretty diverse golf there. But like I said, you get July and August, it's a pretty good little golf trip, from all the hot weather places to get up and get some.
Yeah, the wind was outrageous the day we went. I'd really never seen wind like just consistent wind like that, unless it was like a hurricane. But they were just like, no, this is just a normal Tuesday. We also played that place Sutton Bay in South Dakota. You ever play that spot?
I've never been there. I heard it's awesome though.
It's outrageous. It's like every most exclusive private club you can ever think of, but like a destination ranch that like the members can go and just do whatever they want, and they can like shoot pheasants, and like it's just outrageous like boys club place, and no one plays it. And the original golf course got lost to like, what is that, like the Missouri River, I guess.
Oh,
Like,
really? Wow.
like they lost it to the river because they built it too close to like the water. So like when you're walking on top of this like huge hill, you look down, you see the remnants of like a 15-year-old golf course that's been like broken down. Like it happened that quickly. Like the architect just like messed up. He's like, sorry, I'll just build you a new one.
My bad.
Whoops.
Yeah, no, it's a special spot. I actually really want to go back there. But yeah, really slept on North Dakota and South Dakota. I mean, not much going on when you're driving through it, but like really slept on golf, I feel like.
Yeah, not a whole lot of reason to go out of your way to get up there. It's a little bit hard to get to, but like you said, there's some cool places to check out.
Dude, getting out of there was outrageous. In North Dakota and Bismarck, we had like a 7:30 flight out of there, and we were staying in an Airbnb. And we woke up and we realized that like we had like 8 guys, that there was no chance we were getting an Uber, right? So we woke up at like 5:00 in the morning, and we're like, there's no way we're getting 2 Uber XLs to get to this apart, because we took a RV all the way through the country. So the RV dropped us off. We broke part of the RV, and he got pissed. So then he left. We broke his windshield. We broke his mirror and snapped right off. So he was like so mad. So because we were doing a video, we were actually doing like the Dumb and Dumber thing where we were walking down like a street, and then we were like, it's that way, and then we slammed the door, and the North Dakota wind slammed it, and the whole freaking mirror popped off the freaking RV, and the guy had to drive back to Chicago with only one mirror. So anyway, we get dropped off at this Airbnb, and we had no idea how we were going to get to this freaking airport, and now we're freaking out because we've been on the road for so long, and we're like, I'm going home. I'm leaving North Dakota. Like, great state. I'm leaving this place today. There's no doubt about it. And now it's like an hour and 15 minutes before our flight's about to leave. So we have, no joke, like 20 minutes to get to this airport with all our golf bags, and we're standing in the driveway with no options at like 6 a.m. One car came, and it was like a Toyota Corolla that was going to fit just literally 2 people and all the bags that they could sit on top of their legs. Now we have like 6 other people. So now we're walking down the street looking for like life in this like town, right? And we see this guy just smoking a cigarette outside of his house, and he's smoking a cigarette, drinking a cup of coffee. It's like 6:10 a.m. now. We have 10 minutes to get to this airport, and he has a huge Astro van. And I think Jersey Jerry was like, can you drive us to the airport? And he's like, yeah. And he just comes in, he just drives this huge van that fits perfectly 6 people and all of our golf clubs, and brings us to the airport. We threw him like $300, and he like legitimately shit his pants. He's like, holy shit. He's like, I was just having a cigarette. He's like, this is fucking crazy what just happened to me. Like, out of nowhere, we just gave him like a sick little like 10-minute drive to this place. But yeah, the moral of the story, great people in North Dakota, humble pie. Like, they're just so nice. Well, they'll do anything for you.
Yeah, I love those people. Like I said, they were great when they came down here, and they were traveling well. Nice little Arizona winter for them, and they were having quite a few pops. So, all right. Well, I looked it up, by the way. People were, inspired by this chat with Tom Hoge, plus 2,500. You could sprinkle a little bit.
Oh, baby.
Our guy gets hot next week and wins the U.S. Open at Oakmont, and you're going to make a lot of people that listen to the show a little bit of money. So,
I mean, he's doing promotions for like the top players in the world. So take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, that's kind of my usual deal, though. I better get to work so we can try to hit on that. But I mean, I will say I felt pretty good leaving the golf course Sunday at Memorial, and hopefully keep that going next week.
Fuck yeah,
I love it.
So do you call sandwiches hoagies just because of your name, or do you call them sandwiches or heroes? Have you ever gotten, I mean, your whole life you had to have gotten into that little dispute?
I would say more on the sandwich side.
That's insane. Your name's Hoge.
Probably just wants to get away from it.
Don't think about it too much. It's all right.
Where do they call them hoagies? Is that like
Philly?
Like Philly,
no. Yeah. We've always been sandwich people.
We're heroes up here. Like, you get like a chicken parm hero.
Philly cricket, a few weeks ago. Somebody was telling me the whole story how I got the name Hoge, and I forgot it already.
So I forgot it.
Didn't stick with me.
Your family tree like lineage, and you're just like, no, I don't care.
No, the sandwich Hoge. That's how that got.
I know.
That place was cool, huh? How good
What's your
was that
go-to
spot?
What's your go-to hoagie? What's your go-to sandwich? Go to a deli.
I mean, I had a Philly cheese that week up there. I forget the name of the place.
Mm.
That's pretty good that week. I don't know. I'm pretty simple, you know, turkey, cheese, not a lot to it.
Simple sandwich guy too.
I'm an American hero guy where it's got all three. It's got ham, roast beef, and turkey. You stuff that all in a huge, nice, big, fat roll. Shredded lettuce, mayonnaise, a little bit of mustard.
Go
I'm
for
gonna
it.
get that shit today. American cheese, maybe even melted on there. God, starving to death.
Throw some chips in there. I like put the chips inside the sandwich. You can play that move.
Yeah,
You know, get
towards the end, if you want a little
crunch.
crunch, I like
Yeah,
that.
I like a
think in the
crunch.
beginning it's too much. You got like especially in New York, the way they fill these deli sandwiches, it's like it's a whole mouthful. So if you start throwing the chips in there, it's like, but at the end, like when you have like the nice, like maybe 4 or 5 bites and you throw some Doritos, Cool Ranch Doritos in there.
That's what
I
I'm
mean, you know what I'm
saying.
getting. Wow.
Making me
I'm
hungry.
like talking a little hoagies with Tom Hoge here. Let's get him out of here. This guy's got to go play some golf, man. This guy's got to get ready for the US Open. What a privilege.
The U.S. Open at Oakmont. God, that's as good as it
Yeah.
gets. As
Come on, man.
iconic as it gets. All right, Tom Hoge. Well, we appreciate you taking the time. Big week next week. Great finish last week, obviously, at the Memorial. So let's ride that momentum into Oakmont. We'll be up there for a couple days, so maybe we'll see you in those hallowed grounds.
Yeah, awesome. Look forward to seeing you guys. You know, it's a really cool place. You guys have been there, you said, but certainly feel like I need to bring a helmet or something. That it's gonna be a battle next week.
Hard hat and lunch pail.
All right, Tom. Thanks for taking the time, my friend. We appreciate it, and we will
appreciate it,
we'll
man.
see you next week. Good luck at the U.S. Open.
Thanks, guys. It was fun.